All right, YouTube, Tactical Tony 702 here, and I think I'm on the Dragon. I'm not sure. Watching this bullshit ass police state, military / police. There's not even no difference between the two now. So watching this unfold in all these cities, sheep herding. That's why I named this video sheep herding, because that's what you fucking sheep want. Shit is so soft. The whole fucking trying to hashtag this video so it comes up right, and all there is Boston riots and Boston uprising, and there's neither of those two going on. You got the fucking military in the streets. It's fucking soft, man. Soft. So I just cracked me a Sierra Nevada. Just got off work. First Sierra Nevada. You got little mini tall cans. And it's a 5.6 by volume % alcohol. It's delicious. So shoot out some links to the regulars. See what's going on out there. Sitting there watching the news, it's all bullshit. People are fucking, people are just bullshit. So the sooner the community can get involved and make sure that they're working with one another to quell the violence and the concern, the better. As you look across the country, you have to understand that these issues don't know boundaries. There's concerns about police brutality and other social issues. Folks are going to mobilize in this world of digitization, the ability to communicate and exercise their legal right to be heard and validated in their own causes. You know, last time we had guests, remember Ed Norris, who used to and he didn't think that curfew was a good idea. But do you think it's worked well here? I think it has worked well here. You know, I respect Andy's tremendous effort in the background. But in this city at this time, and I think the proof is in the pudding, the curfew is working. The community is engaging. The elders, as I said last night, are really tugging the young people. Yes, everything's on. They're like off to the left. You're off to the left. Yoda. Okay, I got invites out to all the originals. Check your G+. We're talking this bullshit ass, fake ass, soft ass. I'm gonna go over some shit. Guys, let me know what you think. It is what it is, and I don't really give a fuck. So, the reason I had to do this video is because this shit's driving me crazy, okay? What the fuck? Okay. Everybody's obviously making it a black and white thing, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about how we all should come together, because they obviously got motherfuckers on here. I don't know. They got the same leaders they've been following forever, and I'm not trying to make it a black-white thing. They do it on TV, and they're doing it over there, and that's what they're really doing over there. So I'm not going to sit here and sing Kumbaya. Motherfuckers don't want to come together. Motherfuckers want to be divided over shit. Fucking good luck. But for them to be following the same dumbass fucking leaders over there, electing these same, it's like, it seems like you have to be black and a woman to be like in any type of office over there. So you're probably putting these black women who might be from the area, so like they say, the mayor. Okay, she's from the area and she's a black woman. What, I mean, is there any qualifications in any of that title that makes her good for that city? Fuck no. I mean, okay, she's from there. Okay, crackheads are from here. Crackheads are from Baltimore. I mean, you got crack. I mean, just because you're from somewhere doesn't mean shit. They got the same lame-ass fucking leaders. They got the same lame-ass fucking faith leaders. And I said it. Same lame fucking Jesse Jackson, fucking Al Sharpton, bootleg knockoffs. Some guys are fucking like a textbook right off of the TV of how fucking Black Pastor sounds. Some other guys are fucking, you know what I mean, you know, quiet and more held back in the way they talk about shit, but they all got the same lame ass rhetoric. All the faith leaders, all the politicians over there, and since everybody's making it a race thing, motherfuckers, you're still following them. You're blaming everybody else. If you're gonna play the race card, what the fuck are you doing blaming everybody else? The people in charge over there is the motherfuckers that are supposed to be fixing your shit. The bitch who's from Baltimore. That's the bitch that's supposed to be fixing your shit. You picked a ghetto diva to be your fucking local elected official. Vegas is no better out here. We like to vote in fucking criminal scum lawyers. You know, fucking almost 20 years of fucking them being the mayor out here. It's fucking you know, what do you expect when you're out there blaming everybody else? And I'm not saying black people are doing it. People in general, I want to say that everybody lives in the hood, and everybody's fucking complaining about how the man is holding them down. The man is holding everybody down. The tax man, the motherfucking everybody's got their fucking boot on the back of their fucking necks. But most motherfuckers, they fucking grind through it. They may bitch about it. They may who knows what, but they go through the grind. They live life. They fucking go, you know what I mean? If you sit there waiting on your handout, it ain't never going to come. I mean, what's so badass about having food stamps and Obama phone? You know what I mean? It was nothing cool about it. I had both of them, so. And I've been off welfare for a minute, and I fucking never even used the Obama phone. I had it. But, I mean, you could use some help if a motherfucker needs it, but you don't stay on that shit. Fucking get up and you fucking go through the grind like everybody else. Quit bitching about how bad you have it. So everybody fucking pulls together and really wants to have a revolution. Quit bitching, man. Fucking burning down fucking CVS and robbing the liquor store. Couldn't even build a proper barricade.
In a church. I'm in a church with 60 senior citizen homes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I would say that most of those fires are from the police because they like to shoot their little fucking flammable gas canisters and all that shit. And they almost set the library on fire or whatever last night. They try to say that the criminals were setting that shit on fire and they were shooting fireworks, this, that, and the other. It was the fucking police shooting that shit. So, seen it in Ferguson with my own eyes. The cops set shit on fire with those gas canisters, all them fucking flashbangs, all that shit is highly fucking flammable and will catch shit on fire that is, you know what I mean? I saw him shoot it into a car tire, catch a car on fire. You think the fire captain or whoever the fuck is gonna investigate all that shit after when they see that the police set shit on fire, you think they're gonna be like, oh yeah, hey, cops did this. You know? Yeah, fucking right. Cops
They had Michael Jackson out there, Freddy Krueger out there.
See, to me though, G, what's up? I haven't talked to you. What's up?
What's up, my brother? Man?
To me, them setting those fires, that's giving those fools too much credit. These motherfuckers are sorry. Like they're throwing fucking plastic bottles, glass bottles, and bricks. I mean, okay, I give them the brick. The bricks, okay. But the brick is like the first weapon in the process. You know what I mean?
They were banging the shit out of the cops with that brick shit.
Yeah, that's the top weapon in their arsenal, though. The brick is supposed to be the first weapon in your arsenal. You know what I mean? Not the fucking climax of your weapon. You know what I mean?
There was kids on top of roofs. There were kids on top of the ghetto. They got the rooftops. They could go up there and they were fucking throwing rocks, center blocks at the cops.
What's up, Russ?
What's up, Tone?
Chillin', man.
What's up, Home Slice?
What's up, Mule?
Mule's
All
been
I'm
having
saying is,
audio.
these motherfuckers, like, okay, they are not fucking organized. You know what I mean? When they want to have a real fucking revolution, you know, they should fucking announce it or something, because all this shit is so phony and so fake from Ferguson, New York. I just don't get the point of fucking doing.
Ain't nothing phony. It's just they're stupid. Ain't nothing phony or fake about it.
Basically, they're going out to protest to get arrested.
It's not even about Freddie Gray, dog. It ain't about Freddie no more. It ain't nothing. The shit that you're
I
seeing
understand that, but what the
is
fuck
like what you said. It's like what you said about the ratio.
Who the fuck wants to go protest to get arrested?
These fucking dumb fucks who want to be on TV, yo. These thugs, when they see
This ain't the 60s no more.
when they see videotapes, Tone, and when they see news, they just want to be on TV.
I think it's one thing to see soldiers walk through the streets with fucking M14s, with the fucking with the metal can on the head. It's another to see motherfuckers driving in fucking tanks down the street. Like, you see the vehicles that they had last night?
Oh man, I sweated it. I wanted that bitch. They were running 10 deep in that motherfucker, dude. 10
Did you see how they snatched up that one guy, the non-violent protester?
Yeah, the gay one. Yeah, the gay one.
If anybody noticed, I was watching that live when that shit happened. They watched that Humvee for a second come in. That Humvee didn't have no markings on it at all. Everything else was labeled like police.
Oh yeah.
Like that. It was all black.
I wonder how much gas they went through last night. I wonder how much that gas they went
through, and all you got is a fucking brick. You know.
Yeah.
Well, and
well, they can't have guns here in Maryland. In Maryland, it's impossible to get a permit here. You cannot.
That's why you bring it back in, man.
It's so hard, and you have a permit.
This is not the olden days, though. Is my point. This is not the olden days. Okay, you got motherfuckers with tanks and shit now. This is like black people don't realize it, and white people are too busy ignoring it, and everybody else is. This is a fucking fight to be
black and white. This is racist.
No, this is a human.
Yes.
This is an American.
No, it's being turned into racism. Okay, it's class warfare for sure. Just fucking Baltimore is no different than half the goddamn cities on the East Coast. All the jobs are now in China that used to be in fucking Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay, so there ain't shit in Baltimore. They did the fucking Wire 20 years ago, and shit ain't changed yet.
Exactly. No, he's right. That's what I'm talking about, motherfuckers. They should have learned from the Wire. They absolutely.
Well, the kids did learn from the Wire. The kids learned. They sling dope. They fucking run the streets. Why? Because they got to make their paper to make their fucking feed their kids just like everybody else. Right? There ain't no fucking jobs there. All there is pissed offness and anger. Schools have been defunded. Standard shit that fucking Democrats do. They did the same shit to Detroit.
Hey, like CVS, like CVS burning down. Maybe CVS was a big deal burning down because there ain't shit in Baltimore unless you're downtown. Unless you're in the fucking where all the white people live, downtown Baltimore. Yeah, that's where it's happening.
You got the harbor. Then you go to the harbor because if you ain't at the harbor, you don't need to be in Baltimore.
Dude, it ain't no different than the way they've gentrified Brooklyn, the way they've gentrified Harlem, the way they've gentrified every fucking bad neighborhood they can. And when they can't,
downtown Philly is like that.
The highest crime rate, number 4. They beat D.C. and they beat New York.
But why do you think they allow this shit to happen? They'd rather have it burned to the ground so they can build it up and sell it to a bunch of fucking white people. Go ahead, let it burn. Burn the whole fucking neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what's on your sheriff.
They don't give a shit. Then they move you the fuck out. They send you out to the country where they can control you better, and then they fucking turn that into new housing. Now it's a new development. How long people been trying to? I mean, first of all, they conned all those people into taking those fucking subprime loans. They wouldn't even give a fucking decent loan in parts of Baltimore. You had to take subprime loans, and they conned everybody into it during after 9/11, right? And most of these people couldn't pay their shit, and the banks knew it because they knew that it was a subprime loan. They were going to be jacking up the interest rates the whole time to where they wouldn't be able to pay, so that way they would have to fucking default on it, so that way they got blocks and blocks of property that are sitting there empty with nobody living in them. Baltimore used to be a beautiful city, black and white. Everybody used to clean their stoops. You used to be able to eat off some of the streets in fucking Baltimore. Now it's a shithole. Why? Because of all the shit they allowed to happen. The disappearing of the fucking jobs, the bankers coming in and robbing everybody, and then they want to blame some poor schmuck fucking 20-year-old who never had a chance when he was born. because he's pissed off and he's ready to burn the whole fucking world because he ain't ever had a job. He's got 2 kids already. Why? Because nobody ever taught him how to put a rubber on fucking. You're more of a man if you fucking produce offspring, and that's the only way you're going to be able to be a man in his particular, subculture. And he knows his ass is going to prison and be in and out of prison, just like fucking. All I see now is, Freddie Gray. This motherfucker was slinging dope the whole time. Look at his arrest record. Yeah, look at his arrest record. Minor possession to sell. What the fuck was he doing? Slinging fucking maybe little rock or little weed, and they kept busting him over and over.
Dude, if somebody's having that argument with you, there's no winning it because if they're going to sit here, a lot of people with all the fucking dumb shit laws, the 2 things that bug me the most, well, if they wouldn't break the fucking law, this wouldn't happen. And if they wouldn't have resisted arrest, this wouldn't happen. Well, fucking 2 things. Why the fuck do I have to submit to another motherfucker? And 2, why does it matter about any stupid bullshit? Somebody pulls something out of their ass tomorrow and says, this is a law, you gotta follow it. Don't matter how dumb it is. And then your reasoning and your argument against my shit is gonna be, well, if you wouldn't have broke the fucking law that they pulled out of their ass, it's so fucking fraudulent in its fucking self.
Well, the cops broke the law. The cops broke the law to start this whole thing off. They had no right to chase him. They broke that law. They locked him up and threw him in for the nickel ride, right? By law, they're supposed to seatbelt him in, but they don't do it because they like tuning people up that way, right? So they broke the fucking law. So who's the one who started with the law breaking, right? It wasn't fucking, Freddie may have been fucking breaking the law every goddamn day, but in that particular incident, him running away after seeing a cop did not break the law. The cops broke the law from the very gate. They had no reason to arrest him other than he ran, so that's suspicious.
And if you're going to tell me that you can kill people, even with the other guy they shot in the fucking stomach over fucking drugs, it's 2015. They got to do something about this fucking shit because I know they're not going to because that's the cops.
Oh no, they are. They are going to do something about it. They're going to nationalize the police force, right? This is the narrative they're going to push out of this is they're going to say we need a national police force and it's going to get fucking worse, right? It's not going to get better. They're going to claim they're fixing it. They're not going to fix it and it's going to fucking get worse. Why? Because now there's going to be zero. You think there's no fucking oversight now with these local departments? Imagine what would happen if it's a fucking national department, right? And the thing that I hate the most, Tony, they keep saying these kids need to get a job. Where's there a fucking job for those people in Baltimore? There ain't none.
There ain't no job that way.
Okay, you tell me where there's a job that they're going to be able to get to because they can't afford a car. They can barely afford to ride a bus if there's even fucking public transportation down there. And do you think anybody's going to hire them coming out of high school or anything like that? Fuck no. So what are you going to say?
And you know what? I get it. I totally get what you're saying, but the only reason I started out the chat the way I did is because I think people and even black people in these communities forget that everybody else is in these communities too with them now. Everything is not segregated like it used to be. I live where I fucking live right here. It used to be literally like fucking black and white because you had the west side. And I'm telling you now, everybody lives in the ghetto together. Everybody, it's not the fucking black man is the only motherfucker in the hood, struggling with no opportunities. It's fucking the white man too, and the Mexican,
no
and
doubt.
everybody else.
Talking about generational shit, right? This shit's happened to a lot of white people since maybe 99, right? And definitely after 2007 when the fucking real estate bubble burst, right? So a lot of people out of work, out of jobs, making fucking barely enough to survive. Now, when you look to the black neighborhoods all over America, the minority, the poor neighborhoods, let's not even call it black, white. Let's call it poor, middle class, rich, right? When you go to the poor neighborhoods, whatever fucking color they are, from trailer parks to fucking ghetto towers, it's all the fucking same. Right? Their schools suck. There's no opportunities. The best opportunity you might be able to get if you can keep your fucking record clean until you hit 18 is working in a fucking gas station or maybe Walmart or some shit like that for minimum wage. And everybody says that, minimum wage is just a starting job. In America these days, minimum wage jobs are jobs. They're not fucking starting wage. They're what people take because they have to feed their kids, because they have to feed themselves, because they have to eat and have a roof over their head. I mean, you look at it just in Washington, D.C., it came out today that one of the dudes who serves food to senators in the fucking Congress, right, that motherfucker is homeless because he makes $13 an hour and has to try and live in D.C. and support his children and his grandchildren, it turns out, in D.C. So the motherfucker's got no place to live because he's making $13 an hour and has for 30 years.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
No, we do know. We do know. Nobody wants to fucking admit it. Okay? Everybody thinks they're going to win the fucking lotto or they're one step away from being a millionaire and they don't want to pay. They're not going to want to turn around and pay estate taxes. What the fuck is that?
Motherfuckers need to quit sitting around and looking for a handout, and they need to take what is theirs. I mean, this fucking... This shit being in the streets with these fake leaders and these fucking fake ass motherfuckers.
Dude, they're all just opportunistic. Why? Because the real leaders get snatched up. Just like the one guy you saw get snatched up on the street last night. Real leaders get snatched up and taken away. Real people who can really affect change start talking to people about real strategy against these things, right? To say, don't burn the CVS, burn the fucking courthouse. Those people get snatched up. Those people are the ones that get shut down, get arrested, get kept in there until everything's all calmed down. I mean, like this guy that got snatched up last night. Motherfucker still isn't even in the system yet. Right? A lawyer found out from somebody else that he's still alive, but he's not even been processed yet. He ain't going to be processed until Monday for sure. So they got that fucking one dude who was nonviolent, right, calling for peaceful protest, which I disagree with. But anyway, they snatched his ass up because he was a real effective leader. And you saw the way they did it. We saw it on CNN. They fucking showed it off to the world to see that they will black bag any motherfucker out there who's a true threat. And not a threat with a rock. A threat with a brain.
They got New York is pretty big right now.
They ain't gonna march downtown and burn Wall Street to the fucking ground, so they ain't gonna do shit. None of these fucking people, and believe me, the fucking disinformation agents like that clown that has been running all over the internets here on all the fucking Freedom Talk chats, the disinformation agents like that fuckstick, they're all out in force now, man. Believe it. They're out there hardcore right now. They're the ones that are saying, oh, that kid Freddie Gray, his neck was broke 90% before he even saw the cops. Fuck you, you idiots. He wouldn't be able to run if his fucking neck was already broken, you stupid-ass motherfuckers.
I gotta piss real quick. I didn't know if you could see it in the internal.
I do. I can see you got to piss, and I'll carry it. No problem.
All right.
But just to let you all know out there who, if anybody's fucking watching and listening, because I'm not in as the dragon. For some reason, it's fucking with me. G Plus is fucking with me here lately. Not letting me chat, not letting Reb chat. Fucking just crazy. I don't know where the hell Sting went. I was trying to get Sting earlier. Just to say, hey. But let me try and go into the... Yeah, my shit's so fucked up. I don't even know if I want to try and see what's going on the Facey bookie. But yeah, man, it's just... And this is one of the reasons why I'm having a hard time even getting up to fucking... share anything anymore or any of it, because man, the disinformation is out there in full force. You see it all the time with everybody who's sharing this fucking guy. Just because he sold dope for a living didn't mean that he deserved to die, right? And this don't break the law bullshit. You know, there was a long time in this country weed was not fucking illegal. let's see. The Declaration of Independence first draft was written on it. Fucking Washington grew it. Fucking so did Jefferson. You know, fucking Jefferson even talks about smoking it, right? All that shit. It was in the country long before we even fucking got here, right? But no, somebody had to make it illegal. Why? For profit. Why? Because they wanted to profit off of cotton and wood and fucking petrochemicals, all the shit that you can make from cannabis, right? So it's illegal now. So somebody made a stupid law, and that dude died because of it. And many people died long before it. And all the things you see here gathering up in all these little places is all straight out of the fucking playbook of the war on drugs. From snatching people up the way they have to running RICO scams against people, all of that shit. It's all the war on drugs. Think about it. That kid died in the war on drugs too. He didn't have any drugs on him. He had a pocket knife, right? And he looked at a cop and ran, so he didn't have to get searched, so he didn't have to go to jail for having a pocket knife in a bad neighborhood. Fuck. And maybe he was an asshole. Maybe he was a scumbag. Still didn't deserve to fucking die for looking at a cop and running. So all the excuses I hear from people, oh, he was an asshole, he was a scumbag, and this new one with, oh, he must have had a broken neck already. Ha, man, you people are so blind or disingenuous, I really just can't hang no more with that shit. Now, are these people, to me, stupid for fucking burning down their own area? Yeah. Should they be going running up to the fucking police station, the courthouse, and the city hall and burning those fuckers down? Hell yeah. You want to affect real change? Do that shit. Stop destroying your own area. Go destroy the fucking governmental buildings. As somebody put yesterday, don't take it out on other victims, because we're all the fucking victims against the goddamn state. Fucking disingenuous bullshit I hear all the time from people. Oh, you shouldn't break the law. Tell me when you don't break the fucking law. Let's put it this way. I know in the state of Illinois it is illegal to talk on a cell phone or text, right, while you're in your car. Guess what I saw at least a half a dozen times today, because the cops have been out in fucking force. Every single one of these motherfuckers either talking or texting on their phone. And some of them are double texting. I see one dude, and I was right next to him. He's running the car in front of him in the double line of cars we're in. He's running the car in front of him on his desk, on his fucking car computer, while he's texting somebody on his fucking phone. Yeah, so please tell me about don't break the fucking law. When you watch your overlords break it on a daily fucking basis. What's up, High Desert? What's up, Wired Iron? I don't have controls, but if you want a link, I'll let them know when they come in. Man, people don't get it. And you know, this is the whole divide and conquer thing. Why do you think the mass fucking media is pushing this racial bullshit? Why? Why do you think they turn every one of these into a race thing? Why? And how? And you know, I mean, just to be honest, how is it a race thing in Baltimore when the city government and the police are all the majority black? So it's not a race thing; it's a class thing. And people don't understand. You watch what they will protect. Watch what they look at what they protected in Ferguson. They protected Mercedes and Lakia Byrne. So the only thing they're going to try and protect is their corporate masters or their government masters, right? That's why you need to burn down the government masters first. Right? Now, this ain't the old days, so we are kind of screwed in a way, right? If this was 100 years ago, 1915, and the same shit's going on, and those people stood up and they fucking rioted and they started burning down their government buildings, that shit would be effective. Why? Because there was paper, only paper then. Now we have the internet, so it's not as effective, right? You can burn down your courthouse all you want. They got backup records of your fucking criminal record everywhere. But you still need to do it even symbolically. You want to destroy something, destroy your governments, not the people that provide you with the medicine you need or the toilet paper you need.
And what has got, like, being peaceful gotten everybody in this position so far?
Nothing, and it never does. Okay, I heard some fuckstick over on Young Turks say that this country was built on peaceful protest. What are you, fucking retarded?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, they keep pushing this disinformation, this fucking stupid narrative of lay down and take it, and you can only use your voice and vote. Oh, and do this and do that. No, the only real people who say violence is never an answer, bullshit. Violence is a very good answer. Is it the right answer every time? No. But is it a effective answer? Yes.
Dude, I heard them on the news. I heard on the news tonight. They're calling for a national state of emergency because these protests are happening all over the country, and then it needs to be dealt with at like the federal level since the protests are spreading to each.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Tony. They want a national police force. Fucking Obama kind of mentioned it in his fucking, before he was even elected, right? They want a national police force. And people who think that, if the feds take care of it, it's going to be much better, yeah, whatever. Anyway, the stupid just gets too deep when people start talking about that shit. But this is going to be the agenda they're going to push over the next year, is we need a national police force. Hold every cop to a national standard, and we have a national police force. And if people can't see, if people are too blind to look at history and to not see what happens when these things happen, well, what the fuck can you do? Let's start the goddamn revolution. Let's break off a few states and start our own little fucking republic again. Because this is no longer a republic. We have not kept it.
I mean, fuck, man, I don't know. Every time I think we're on the verge of something, we never get there.
We could be, dude. This is a perfect opportunity. And if it spreads to across the nation, I fucking hope it does. I hope they call it a national emergency and throw the fucking yoke down on everybody. I hope they put up roadblocks on every fucking road, every fucking interstate, all over the goddamn country. Go right the fuck ahead. Maybe it'll wake up more sleepers. Because these fucking people out here, they're so caught up in this fucking divide and conquer bullshit. Everybody's willing to be divided. I mean, I hear it all. This whole fucking Baltimore bullshit. People keep speaking and nobody's listening about how it's really not a race thing. It's really an economic thing. When you keep people, it's like a third world fucking country in neighborhoods in fucking Chicago and Baltimore, in fucking D.C., in goddamn Philly, New York. Fucking Camden, New Jersey is a goddamn third world country.
Hey,
Somalia's in better shape.
You know what the good thing is? Maybe that is to come of all this, or a good sign, anyways.
That we burn it all down and break it all up and get back to what we believe, what we need to do.
Well, no, I was just gonna say that it's really, really early. Like, we got a long time. It's not even warm out. I mean, we got a long spring, summer ahead of us, and fall.
Yeah, true.
As soon as it started warming up, you know what I mean, motherfuckers were like, hey, it's time to start being out in the streets again.
And can I make one point? Okay, I'll probably make a dozen of them. But here's one more point. Everybody who wants to bitch about them burning down fucking CVS, okay, don't forget, throwing the tea off of the ships in Boston Harbor was A, against the law, B, it was against the commercial entity, right? And what they did was destroy commercial property.
Not only that, I keep trying to see if I get anybody else to jump on board with me. I think we're giving these guys way too much credit. I honestly don't even think these guys burned down shit. I think just like Ferguson, I saw the police with their fireworks. That's what I'm calling them now. With all their fucking little projectiles that fucking start fires. That's what they do.
Well,
And
that's what they
They
tried to
did it
blame.
last night.
Yeah, they
You
were
know?
trying, they shot some tear gas or whatever over by Pratt Library, and then
Yep.
they tried to blame it on fucking the people down there for starting a fire. And no, sorry, people have video of you shooting a fucking tear gas can and it catching on some garbage in the street.
Exactly.
So nobody was starting a fire, but guess what the disinformation addicts do? Guess what the cops do? They push disinformation. And guess what the stupid do? Lap that shit up like it's fucking ice cream.
And I mean, that's what I'm saying. With the way these guys so-called protest this, that, and the other, I thought it was weak. I think we were giving them way too much credit. I don't really think that they were burning shit down. Now, do I believe they're fucking running in there looting the liquor store and shit? Hell yeah. I mean, you see that with your eyes, so that one's not hard to
Well,
believe.
you see it in every fucking riot. Why? Because people are opportunistic as well. Okay, let me put it this way. Don't you think that some of the tea that went into the fucking Boston Harbor, don't you think at least a crate of that shit went into John Samuel Adams' fucking back room at his bar? Let's get honest about that shit.
I mean, the military is in the fucking streets. Is like it's gone way too far now.
No, it hasn't gone far enough. That's what you don't understand, Tone. That's what most people don't understand. They constantly don't want to talk about. I said it at Bundy when they were sending women and children out ahead. Guess what? They might have to die for a real revolution to start in this country. Guess what? We also might need fucking every city in America having fucking National Guard and soldiers on the streets to complement their cops to get people to understand the fucking tyranny we're actually living under. It's a soft tyranny, but it's still tyranny. And can you believe I go through all this shit and I'm baked like a motherfucker?
I'm in the same boat.
But yeah, I mean, it's goddamn ridiculous. Hey, HD, and send HD and Wild Iron a link.
I sent both of them links.
Okay.
They're in their G+. I sent all the original.
Well, no, I just saw them. They had commented. And they had come over on the G+ side. And I got to see it. I'm going to try and look now. Because you running things, baby. It ain't me. That's why I'm here is Mew.
Yeah, I gave invites to all the originals. Stinger was in here for a second, but he dropped out.
Man, I can't tell you the kind of issues I've been having. And I know Reb's having them too. Reb can't come in on live stuff. He doesn't get audio. He's not getting fucking. He can't talk. I couldn't earlier. I tried to get on, couldn't talk, couldn't fucking. The camera wasn't even working at all. It was fucked up. Anyway, let me do some quick shout outs. QC's out there. America Diet out there. William Garns is out there. HTP, Wild Iron. G's out there. I was out there. And J Watt's out there. That's all I see for now. So. And there's 17 people watching with 9 thumbs up and 9 thumbs down. Perfect. I love that shit. Haters gotta hate. You know, there's been a study on that, too. Haters actually do have to hate. It's like a genetic thing for these fucking turds.
That's funny.
It is. But like I said, man, I hope they fucking start. I mean, some people are saying we already have a national police force, and you can probably say that with DHS and fucking FBI, but they're not all interconnected, and they're not down into the very local level.
I'm just, dude, I mean, it's like...
But hold on a second, Tony. Let me just finish this thought real quick. And one of the reasons why they're going to try and bring in a national police force is to take away the strength and the little bit of power that the county sheriffs have. Right? because they understand that the county sheriffs can stand on their own for the most part, right, if local laws hadn't changed that, right? But in most states it hasn't. That's why you see a lot of sheriffs standing up across the country. Well, if they write in, and you know how fucked up they make laws, if they sneak into some national police force thing, that there's no longer county elected sheriffs, no longer elected law enforcement in each county in the United States, that it's all one national thing, well, do you think any place is going to be able to not enforce federal law? I mean, look at Kansas, look at fucking Tennessee, look at all these states that are saying we ain't going to enforce the shit on the Second Amendment, federal law on the Second Amendment, right? You have counties, sheriffs saying the same thing. Well, that will all become null and void if there's a national police force. They won't be able to do it because they'll have no power. They won't be in power. They won't get elected to power. Those people in those fucking states, well, those states won't control the police forces in the states that they live in. So they won't be able to tell fucking the cops to go fuck themselves and not to enforce certain laws that they don't like marijuana laws, like gun laws, like whatever. It's all going to be fucking controlled by the federal government. Tell the states to go fuck. We're gonna enforce federal law. Fuck your local laws. All your local laws then become null and void with a national police force. I mean, people don't even fucking think. They can't even, fucking play that game to the end of it in their brains on how fucked that shit is. And then you hear people on fucking MSNBC and fucking stupid cutting that's the fucking mayor of goddamn Baltimore hinting at it, pressing at it, pushing that agenda.
Well, they got the own city police fucking ratting on her that she told them to stand down Monday night, and that's why everything burned. Like, they're putting her ass on blast. That's a crazy.
By next year, do you think anybody's going to believe that story? What story came out first? Right? That's what people believe. And look at the way the media spin it. Unless they can get a hold of that juicy bone and it raises revenue, they're not throwing this bitch under the bus. Fuck no. She's part of that fucking committee to figure out how we can get a national police force. And this is part of the agenda she's playing. That's why she gave them space to destroy. Because how else do you get to do these changes? You have to instill fear. And that's why they're showing burning shit and all the crap they're showing in all these different places. Why? To get gin up fear. Because then they can get shit put in. Okay, the Patriot Act. Everybody talks about the Patriot Act. Do you know that the Patriot Act sat in Congress and died in committee as a bill multiple times in the 80s and in the early 90s? It died in committee, right? But guess what happened, 2001, September 12th? That motherfucker got signed into law, right? All the rest of these. How did they get signed into law? Fear. So how do you think they'll be able to bring about a national police force unless they have cities burning? 68 Gun Control Act. How do you think 68 Gun Control Act was able to pass in America then?
Oh, no, I wasn't around in 68.
Okay, let me explain to you. The Civil Rights Movement and the burning of fucking cities.
You're talking about all the riots in the 60s, right?
Yeah, that brought out the riots and the protests, brought out the fear. And what happens when people are afraid? They want security. They don't want to be afraid. That's why they have to constantly gin up the fear factor. And that's what they're doing now in Baltimore. They're ginning up the fear factor. They're getting everybody ready to beg for a fucking national police force. Please take more of my fucking freedom for security, which I'm going to get neither. Please, please, please.
The crazy part is they don't even hide it. They talk about it on TV. I hear them. Like, they're blown away, disturbed, and, like, in awe when they roll in the fucking tanks.
But that's what you wanted. That's the whole point. I don't know, man.
I just expected more from the people of Baltimore. I've been to Baltimore a lot. I think I can fucking speak for it. I've been to Baltimore more times than I like to admit. You know, I lived in Norfolk, so Baltimore was a nice little, you know, spot on the way to New York or Philly.
Hell yeah, great soft shell crabs too.
Yeah, it's not too far from
Even when the
D.C.
harbor area was a hellhole.
Even it's not even that far from D.C. either. So I mean, you got a lot to do in like a relatively small area. And Baltimore is a fucking place you just don't fuck around at night. You know what I mean? Like that's really the when I lived out that way, that meaning still held true. I mean, maybe it's changed since a decade ago, I guess. I don't know. I just expected more from the people of Baltimore, dude. I expected them if they were gonna. I don't know. Okay, all right. I won't even prejudge them because on Friday when they fucking clear these cops, which they already said they're gonna do, you know, maybe then. You know, I mean, I don't understand what these people think the outcome, what kind of outcome they're trying to get. They're probably trying to get the police officers indicted or some shit like that, and that's just not gonna happen. I mean, how many times is it gonna happen to you to understand that it's not gonna happen?
Well, let's see. In New York, we watched them choke a motherfucker to death, and they, you know, found every excuse not to indict, right? You think they're going to indict these cops? Fuck no, right? And this is what they want, Tone. This is what they want. We've been saying it for how long, and we're seeing we're seeing it play out, right? All the shit we've been saying for the past 2 years, you're seeing play out. You know, this is how they get there, step by step by step. They keep tuning up the fear. Now people with nothing left to lose are just acting like spoiled like children and fucking lashing out at everything, right? And I'm more inclined to believe that it's more fucking agent provocateurs than the people of Baltimore, because up until, right, a couple of days ago, there was no riots, but there were protests every fucking day over this thing. And then all of a sudden there comes, you know, all of a sudden it's, too much? Break out the riot gear and fucking now burn Baltimore to the ground? Yeah. Too convenient. Too coincidental.
I mean, to me, I don't see how somebody who doesn't even live in your city or whatever, or on your block or even in your neighborhood or whatever, how you can have somebody come in there, occupy your shit, and you can't be, I mean, I don't know, man. You listening to fucking the faith leaders, all them. Come on, it's time to go home. It's curfew. I mean, what the fuck? I don't give a fuck.
Dude, what do you think? Okay, faith leaders. Okay, let's get something straight. No matter what you,
that's who,
no matter
that's
what
who
your
they
particular
got out
faith
there.
is, I understand that. But no matter what your particular faith is, if you don't understand by now that religion has always been used to control the populace, and that faith leaders, popes, fucking bishops, goddamn pastors, all of them preach out of the same thing about how you need to listen to the governments over you. It's all part of a control thing. Now, you have your own faith. God bless you if you do. Right? But for you to think that fucking religion isn't used as a tool of the government to control the people, again, you're hiding your fucking head in the sand.
Well, for me, I can't see how the fuck I'd be in the middle of a protest and a faith leader has any relevance on the battlefield or whatever you want to call it.
It's all part of the control thing, dude. It's all part of the control.
No, I totally get what you're saying. I totally agree with you.
The whole reason Constantine turned Catholic was because his population was fucking Christian, and he was no way in hell going to be able to keep control. So, of course, he got the glorious miracle of seeing a fucking cross over a battlefield, and he won the battle, and that's why, yeah, whatever. Read history knowing fucking human nature, and you'll see through a lot of the bullshit. Like, I can tell you for sure, even though I have zero evidence, that Sam Adams took some of that fucking tea and put it in his back room. If they were going to throw 99% of it over the fucking side as a symbol, they were going to keep at least 1% to make a goddamn cuppa. Fuck.
All I know is that I'm disappointed. I think that's why I wanted to start this chat mostly. I don't feel like other people feel about shit. I'm not disturbed by seeing cars burn or buildings burn or tear gas and all that. I mean, that kind of shit's been going on. I mean, if you've been paying attention, the whole world is burning. The whole world has been going through this kind of shit. And people are, what? Okay, so everything that's been going on around the world is just a movie, and now, like, some movie shit is happening in real life in America, and you're disturbed, you know? I guess the desensitizing isn't totally working because, I mean, I just don't see how you could be disturbed about cars burning, you know? I mean, to me, that's a party.
Dude, because it's the way that... The propaganda machine is in full effect. I mean, for those of you that don't know, right, Kansas Hillbilly Prepper and Stinger used to bring this up all the time. We haven't brought it up in quite a while. But they can, by legal statute, the law says that because they changed it, that they can now feed the American people propaganda. And that's exactly what they're doing. And their corporate masters are helping right along. Why? Because they get fucking paid, right? Why do these when a media company which is owned by a fucking energy company that pays zero taxes, you know, of course if they want to keep paying zero taxes, they're gonna toe the fucking government line. So they're told what to do, and that's what they do. Just like that chick, Erin Burnett, who blamed the veterans that are cops. She was told, follow this line. This is the narrative we're going to play today. That's the narrative she played today. Right? The using of thugs as a noun, right, in place of nigger is the play today. Right? And don't think they're not doing it, because they do it. That is exactly what they've done. The N-word has become the N-word, right? And so you can't use that any longer, so they've changed it with thugs.
I'm waiting for like a NWA song to come on right now. Remember, like when Bush 1 was talking about thugs?
What and who? Okay, every time you hear thug, do you see biker or do you see crip? And you tell me what they use it for. Do you see a Hell's Angels with a beard and a hell of a lot of tattoos getting off a Harley to beat your ass with a chain, or do you see some black dude coming out of the shadows?
Well, for sure, because I would say for sure, Tupac definitely. If there was any like
Thug life, baby.
Yeah, if there was any like blurred lines, Tupac fucking made that shit like.
You think he's dead, man? You actually go start reading the lyrics of a lot of early Tupac. Now, he wasn't the greatest fucking poet.
Dude, he had
a lot of shit along with a lot of gold, right? But you go reading the lyrics to some of his fucking raps, and you would be amazed what that man was saying.
Dude, I listened to Tupac since probably I was a little kid. I mean, he was fucking out here, you know.
I'm just saying that. Man.
He was definitely the biggest rapper out here as far as this area. I mean, fuck, he was. Everybody listened to Tupac, even people who didn't listen to rap. It was pretty crazy.
I'm just saying, yeah, but you see, that's the thing. People can listen to music all they want and never hear the fucking words. They can sing the fucking lyrics and not understand word one. And believe me, the powers that be understand all the use of advertising, all the use of media, all the use of music. Why haven't you heard fucking some song like the one from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young after Kent State? How come you haven't heard that shit about Ferguson or about Eric Gardner or about fucking William Scott or fucking this guy Freddie Gray? Right? And I can go down the list of amount of people who have died in fucking American cities. And why aren't you hearing these songs about them? because they're being controlled. They're being made sure you're not hearing it. You don't get to hear it, so it doesn't get to go viral, so people don't want to buy it fucking on iTunes, right? Because guess what? That might actually get people enraged because music has that power to be able to do that. But you're not going to see it. You're not going to hear it. Why? Because they're not going to let you. Because don't think it's not being written. Don't think some kid last night didn't write a fucking rap in Baltimore about what the fuck's going on in his neighborhood. Because I can guarantee you somebody did. Human fucking nature guarantees that shit. But you ain't going to hear shit about it. This is why when I do dragons, it's got to be about solutions because and the solution is I can give it to you plain and simple: burn down your government house, take out your fucking city hall, take out your cop shop.
Yeah,
Show them you really mean fucking business, and spread that shit far and wide.
Yeah, we
People ain't
got
gonna do that, man. People are not going to do it. And let me tell you, if you're online here, make sure you speak in generalizations. Because if you start getting into specifics and make specific threats against people, they are listening and they will lock you up.
Yeah, so you gotta talk like hypotheticals. Hypothetical possibilities of quadrifrantic multitudes of oblivious mental consumptions. I don't know. All I know is I'm disappointed with the whole thing. I think I agree with Mule that. Well, I mean, fuck, dude. I've thought this way for a long time. I just don't. I never seen the point, and this is why I hinted at a solution without saying it. I just don't see the point of going out just to get arrested. Like, go out, be peaceful, lay on the ground, fucking take selfies, taunt the police verbally, just to fucking go to jail. For what? I mean, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I figure, like, I got way more.
Most people, dude, they've been so ingrained that violence is not the answer. They've been so ingrained to be this non-violent victim, and that somehow makes you stronger.
Okay, but how is it that they could... I mean, we've seen them pelting the cops and everything with rocks. We know how the mob mentality of the youth is black, you know what I mean? Like the black youth mob mentality. Why are they only like that I mean, if you think about it, it's almost like they're only like that. They're just like the police because they only like really prey on people that they can outnumber. You know what I mean? And when they're met with an equal force, like, say, up against the police, that mob mentality's still there, but it's definitely not as ballsy or...
That depends, mine. That depends, though, Tony. When enough people start getting hurt, when you match wits with the cops and they start crushing on you, in some places in the world, that makes it worse. Look at Ukraine. Okay? Now, I want to answer William Garnes real quick. It's not... Yes, I did forward that story of local cops, Texas Rangers, U.S. Marshals busting that public meeting for the Republic of Texas. And yes, they did work together. But that doesn't happen in every jurisdiction. And that's why they want a total police state. They want a national police. Because not every sheriff buys into the fucking federal cocksucking. Okay? Not every sheriff gives a shit about the money the feds are giving down to them. And there's enough out there that might not, that scares the fuck out of the federal government. That's why they want to push a national police force so there are no more sheriffs. Then they don't have to worry about whether you're going to play the game or not. Then there just is not one. Because there are plenty of sheriffs across this country that get elected not to play the game.
Yeah, but everybody's got the boot on the back of their neck, and they don't want to... They don't want to believe that, you know, not like, you know, I'm looking at these tweets. fucking meditation, non-violence, time to unify.
Yeah, let's see. How do the people of Nepal feel that's really that good? Where is the Dalai Lama at right now? Is he in the palace in the place that he's supposed to be, or did the Chinese with violence get him, make him have to leave his country? Because most of the Buddhists are peaceful. But believe me, they love playing that narrative. They want everybody to be a victim. Right, so if you're just being a peaceful protester, right, then you can be the victim. Look at them. Remember Berkeley during Occupy Berkeley when those kids got sprayed with the bear spray by that cop, and they were just sitting there blocking a path that they, it was a fucking path, and they just barely blocked all the concrete on it where people couldn't, they would have to walk on the grass, which I guess is against the law too. And what did people do? Nothing. Because they're constantly taught that it's better to be the victim than to be the aggressor.
And this is, okay, this right here, I think, proves my point from the last chat that me and you were on together, that the East is like totally been nude and spayed and neutered. Like, the East is has no nuts anymore. I'm not saying South, I'm just saying the Northeast, we know what we're talking about here. The Midwest is on its way, and I think that's why Jade Helm is an exercise on the most freest states that they believe that they're going to have problems with.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that because those are also some of the biggest states. And the populations, except in the city centers, are spread out far enough that they've learned from places like Afghanistan and Iraq and shit like that no matter what you do, you're going to have a resistance. They have a resistance now. It's just not armed yet. It's not a shooting resistance.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, it's Jade Helm is getting a lot of play, like out west. I don't know if it is. I mean, it's on the topics of everything every day out this way.
Which should make you think about that for a second and say, hey, okay, so if this is supposed to be what we think it is, and yet everybody's going to be talking about it until it supposedly kicks off, doesn't that make you think that now everybody is distracted on this Jade Helm bullshit, that they're going to be doing 1,000 other things while everybody's looking in that direction? Because everybody's been squirreled with Jade Helm.
I don't know. I could see them running Jade Helm and like them being that arrogant, but with riots going on all fucking summer possibly, it loses steam after a while,
Well, every time something like this comes out and gets exposed and everybody and their mother gets fucking all excited over it, I always have to ask what's going on that we're not discussing, that we're not seeing, that's not being shown to us, because they've got us all squirreled with Jade Helm. People are still fucking, like HDP pointed out, people are looking at a fucking vehicle that has been transferring fucking military personnel from base to whatever training spot all across the country, those white fucking Bluebird buses. I've seen them, right? And it's not that big of a deal, right? I've seen them at the Walmart, right? Why? Because I live near a fucking National Guard training center, and guess where they give those guys a lift who didn't get shipped, who don't have personal cars there, a chance to go shopping? Guess what they drive them in? Sometimes if it's only 4 or 5 people who are officers or non-coms, it's usually a Humvee. Otherwise, it's a fucking Bluebell white bus with government plates on it. But people are losing their fucking minds over it, right? And they're distracting people from what's really going on. Look for what's really going on. Like the fact that Citibank is going to stop it, is starting to suck up cash, right? And not wanting you to take cash out of your accounts anymore. They want you to do it all on debit and credit cards. They want to try and start building in this cashless society. So they're sucking shit up. Or the fact that the Fed just came out again and haven't put anything on their fucking calendar on even talking about anything. Why? Because they know the economy's on such shaky ground that they don't even want to open their fucking mouths. But nobody wants to talk about that shit. And that's not including all the international fucking crap that's going on.
I just don't see how they could balance all this shit any longer. Like, I mean, they're not God. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how they can balance all this shit and still have control like they do.
Okay, now most people don't remember variety shows. Maybe you do. You might be too young, Tony. But on TV, they used to do these variety shows, and it was like, you know, if you had some kind of act, if you had something that was interesting, you were a good magician, right? Musicians, fucking all kinds of shit. If anybody remembers the people who used to keep the plates up in the air on a stick.
Yeah.
Spinning, right? So these motherfuckers have perfected it where they have 1,000 plates up in the air spinning at all times, and they have to keep them all spinning. They have whole armies of people keeping these fucking things spinning. Because the second the music stops, the second one person starts letting that plate crash, it can have a fucking wave effect, and they know it. That's why even when one plate crashes, they rush everything over there to keep all the rest of the plates around it spinning, so nobody knows that this whole thing's just barely teetering on a breath. I hope you guys understand the analogy.
Well, I like this. Somebody says, we all threw cops a big old pity party after 9/11, calling them heroes and such, only to have them turn on and kill civilians. Yep. I've maintained one solid belief through my whole life, through my childhood to my adult life. I've only one value in me, maybe not a value, but one trait in me, one belief in me since I was a kid. It's never changed. It's only gotten worse, is that I hate the police. I've never ever liked the cops. I've only grown to hate them even fucking more. But that's probably one of the most consistent things in my whole life, from just as long as I can remember, is never liking the cops. I mean, my family was cops, and I appreciated what they did. I did not respect them as my family and my parents, but never respected the profession and just the, you know what I mean? I was liberal. I was like a liberal Democrat motherfucker, I would say, when I was younger, into graffiti and shit like that. So I was even probably like, I really didn't like cops.
I grew up wanting to like cops and couldn't do it because of what I saw just growing up where I did. The just inherent corruption. You know, the little buck or two, you know, pack of cigarettes under the table to the cop to make sure he gives the extra eye on the candy store. Right? The fucking free meals the cops would get, so that way nobody would, you know, it was another fucking form of protection racket. You know? And that's on me. I don't blame anybody else, but I've never had, even when I wanted to be a cop, I was wanting to be a cop because I knew I was going to be one corrupt motherfucker, and I'd make 3 times the amount of money that they give you as salary. You know, how the fuck do you think cops can afford to live in some of the neighborhoods they live in? Shit. Think they get paid that well? Fuck.
I thought people would be more disturbed by the military being on the streets. I mean, do you have to be like in the military to fucking realize like how wrong on how many levels and just how bad that is? Like when I saw the shit in Ferguson, I was like, okay, yeah, they rolled some shit out. I wasn't like really blown away, but I was kind of blown away the way they turned it into a war zone. But as far as the vehicles and shit that they were driving, I wasn't like really blown away. Now, the Baltimore shit, dude, they got legit fucking Iraq, Afghanistan fucking equipment in that, running around that city, enforcing a curfew. I mean, I just thought,
plan, bro. It's all part of their plan.
No, I know it's a plan, but I just thought people would be more fucking upset, like way more upset about that. I mean, to me that's blasphemy right there.
All they had to do is burn a couple of stores. All they had to do is say a couple of cops got pelted with rocks, which guess what has been happening all over the world? Fucking Belfast, Palestine. You know, you want to start with cops getting pelted by rocks and it not being that big of a deal. You're there with fucking riot gear against people with street clothes.
Exactly.
Yeah. You have tear gas, rubber bullets, and fucking real guns and tasers and sound cannon, and you're going to be bitching about a rock. Fuck. But of course, cops have special privileges, so they're not allowed to get hurt in the line of duty. That's a tragedy, right? Even though you signed up for this fucking job, it's a tragedy that actually your job. It's a tragedy when a fucking logger gets killed by a log. Are you going to call them a hero because they fucking cut down the tree that made your bed furniture? Fuck.
New York's really out in full effect. It looks like. I guess.
Are they burning Times Square yet? Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's a lot of people, a lot of fucking cops. Oh, I know what I really wanted to discuss tonight, and what I would just really want to hit home a point with people. The funny thing is about the police, and what I think what I've always obviously known and just really hated, the police are a business, but they don't produce a product. They don't offer any goods or anything like that is like marketable or sell. They don't bring in any money for selling a product or
they do.
Well, no. I know they bring in plenty of money, but they bring in money by stealing from us. I mean, their
right.
Paychecks,
That's their product. Is their protection racket, right? And they got people fooled. They got people fooled into paying their taxes. They got people fooled into paying their fines, and they're very good with it, right? It's all a fucking protection racket. It's all a racket.
Exactly, but it's not. If you think about it, since they're not quote unquote an actual criminal organization. I mean, we all know they are, but we're talking here in the real legal world where the laws are. They're a business that is in operation that creates revenue but sells no product, offers no goods or services. I mean, their service obviously is a little protection racket or whatever, but they not only do we pay them to basically be out there and be supposedly on patrol or whatever, when something like one of these events goes down, these fools get fucking, overtime, double time, double overtime. Like, for Baltimore to do what they're doing or whatever, like, the police are on overtime. The police, nobody is out there for free is my point.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of people out there for free, but none of them are in fucking uniform.
Well,
right?
No,
the media's out there in full force. They're getting paid. The people that are fucking out there getting hit, dying, and arrested aren't getting paid, but the fucking cops doing it are getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my exact point. They don't. So they get their pensions and all that kind of bullshit, their paychecks from us just by fact of the matter that part of our taxes goes to them, but also they collect revenue on the fucking streets and shit like that, like fucking like highwaymen. But on top of it, when something like this goes down, or even a special event, you can say just for a special event, gotta have more police out there, and it's like triple dip, it's quadruple dip, it's fucking. How many times can we dip into the fucking public's pocket while mouth fucking them? It's a DP. It's a triple DP. It's one in the poop, one in the vagina, one in the mouth. You know what I mean? It's
hell,
a fucking,
and the guys with the little ones in the ears. Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
I mean, it's insane. And these, there's no incentive for them to be public servants by virtue of what they've turned it into.
They're trained not to do these things. They're trained not to do it. Why do you think in bad neighborhoods you don't see cops walking down the street where they could actually be effective? No, you see them driving around in fucking squad cars.
Well, that's why they got these.
Let's just take Baltimore for instance.
That's why they have to have quotas and shit like that, because that revenue is dependent upon. It's a tax to the Godfather.
Well, let's put it this way. You can go look, and you can find out the stats. I think the New York Times posted them, right, on the fact that the majority of the cops that work in Baltimore don't live in Baltimore. Some of them, I mean, they go out all the way as far as to Pennsylvania that these people live, and they come into this area and police.
Dude,
Right?
you think
What is that? That's an occupying army, right? But
yeah, I mean, why the fuck would they live in Baltimore? Yeah, why the fuck would they live in Baltimore?
how do they not live in Baltimore? How are you going to police a city you don't care
No,
about?
I totally understand what you're saying, but they're not retarded. They don't live in Baltimore because Baltimore's a shithole. I mean, they might live in Baltimore, but they probably live down by the harbor, or you know what I mean? They live in the fucking,
Wow.
you know.
I'm just saying. This ginning up of the fear is all part of their plan in my eyes. Now, it's my tinfoil hat. I'm going to wear it the way I fucking want.
Do you think Philadelphia cops live in Philadelphia?
No. Most New York cops don't live in New York either. There's a few that live in Queens, most don't, right? But, they live out the island, they live out, wherever. But, yeah. They don't. They don't live where they police. Now, here where I live, yeah, the cops live in. I see my cops every day. One of my cops that I had hard times with for a decade coached my son's football. And him and I finally found a place to be able to talk where we didn't acknowledge that we hated each other. But we see each other. I still see the motherfucker in grocery stores and gas stations.
It's kind of funny because, like, everybody lives here, so like they could possibly live in a better neighborhood, but everybody's in this shithole together out here.
Well, in Vegas, the whole thing, the whole valley's pretty much Vegas, so you don't get away from it. Clark County's huge. No way are you you're not living in fucking Nye County and being a county guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, for Clark, so
there ain't nowhere to go for a while. But I mean, I'll
be right back. It's my turn to hit the head.
All right. I spent a lot of time on the East Coast, and I'm telling you right now, fucking shit doesn't make no sense to me. It doesn't make sense. I lived in Norfolk, Virginia, and I can tell you that is there's some questionable areas out there. So, Baltimore, been to Baltimore. I compare like Norfolk, Baltimore, Richmond. There's a lot of cities out there on the East Coast that are similar, and like Norfolk, Richmond, Baltimore, DC, even. I mean, the thing that sets DC apart is this is nation's capital, but a lot of those cities out there are a lot alike. Old, rundown, fucking, just, I don't know, as much as chaos that you see on the fucking news with people being fucking crazy and just nuts in those cities, in those particular cities, I don't know, it's just weird to see people submit, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Cops are like not public servants now; they're a fucking occupying army. We're trying to come up with solutions. A lot of solutions to shit like this. We can't even can't really talk about it like we want to. But I think everybody gets the gist. I mean, you can't. This is a whole new day, a whole new type of fucking world. You cannot expect to have some shit like the 60s. You know, I mean, the same tactics and stuff that worked back in the day, and it didn't even really work if you think about it. None of that shit worked. I mean, they give you a little bit of piece of freedom that you're supposed to naturally have anyways under the Constitution, and people feel like they won something. I mean, yeah, they had to win their freedom back, but if you made me go through all that fucking made me go through all that trouble to get my freedom back, fucking might as well go above and beyond to get all my fucking human, you know what I mean, all my God-given, you know, rights back. And being in the fucking, being told what time you gotta fucking go home, beat curfew, is bullshit. Military in the streets, bullshit. Police fucking deck the fuck out. You can't even tell the difference, damn near. I mean, you can if you fucking, if you're an operator, I think you could tell the difference between the way the cops and the military is dressed, because the military, especially if it's the National Guard, usually all got the same uniform. And then you got a bunch of clowns and like fucking, you got a bunch of fucking clowns and fucking desert tan, coyote brown, whatever the fuck color, tan colors in the middle of a fucking city, you know what I mean? Or fucking Marpat fucking green camo and shit in the middle of a city. Those are the cops, the fucking morons, you know, that's them. So, got all these feds, got all these cops, you got all these military guys in the streets now. At what point, I don't know, so I'm starting to get scared. I'll never even see it in my lifetime that people stand up. I'm gonna end up fucking, I ain't seeing the FEMA cage with you motherfuckers, I tell you that much. So solutions. They got tanks, multiple tanks in the street. I don't know. Stand up. I'm gonna end up fucking. Damn, we got 9 dislikes. I sent you a link, Reb. Check your G+. What up, Stu Zap? What up, Reb? Tramp 701, QC Hemp. I sent you a link, Jim. William, Solar Savage, G, Redbud, J Watt, I'm a Redneck, Cockerham, Cockerham, Wild Iron, what's up, bro? America died 1913. The High Desert Pioneer, what's up, bro? Well, I'm trying to stay on until you can get in. I'm going to message him up right now, see what he says. I ain't getting no live feed or nothing from Baltimore, so if anybody knows what's going on with that. Yeah, so we got Mule, you there? DJ, I need some more beer. You gonna drink your other beer? So, sheep herding is definitely in full effect. People have been really fucking fucked. I don't even know what to say about it that hasn't already been said. I seen a good video where somebody was talking about that they were burning down the wrong shit. They were supposed to be burning down the police departments and all that kind of shit. It's kind of funny that people act really ballsy, but when it comes to the cops, it's like an automatic, like, God-fearing, you know, people are automatically just like up against a brick wall that's not moving, like like cops are mythological or something. Like they're titans. Watch out for the Titans, the Blue Titans. That's what I'm gonna call them from now on, the Blue Titans. The Titans in blue with the shiny badge. Don't give a fuck about you. Should play some music, some copyrighted music, some fuck the police music.
I gotta go, Tone. I got shit going on.
All right, man.
I'll talk to you later.
I'll be on here. So, we might just open this up for the after chat. I'll put the link up. Fucking, I ain't got a panel here. I invited a bunch of people. I ain't got a panel here, but I think everybody can kind of agree that this whole thing's kind of disappointing. The whole tyrannical fucking foot on the back of the neck is in full effect, and there's nothing nobody's doing that's positive. I feel like everybody's kind of just taking it for what it is, tweeting about it. It's another fucking news storm. Oh, there he is. We were about to shut down and go into private chat. I was just like sitting there talking to myself forever.
No, you're talking to 24 other people out there and all the replays.
Yeah.
It is surprising how many people watch these on replay. Everybody have 40 live viewers and there might be 500 replays, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that. I was trying to figure out whether to do it on my channel or this one. I figured just do it on this one. Seems like it's easier to get shit going.
Yep, get that shit going. That was one of Mule's things is the hashtag ZFG or Zero Fucks Given. So I was trying to find that on Twitter, and I don't see much activity for that particular hashtag. But when you use you spell it out, Zero Fucks Given, you get a few more tweets. And we need to promote that hashtag ZFG. So that's you're just out of fucks to give. There's my picture. He's a good one. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's one of his hashtags.
These pictures are crazy. Like Casey, the not perfect one, shared on his Facebook, and it's pictures of black peaceful protesters in the past. It's just interesting to see if I could. Oh wait, my camera's off. Here we go. There we go. I mean, this was my point. It's the same shit. Why go out there to get fucked up and get arrested? I mean, this is at a point to where it was in the same. I think it was the same town too. I think it's in Baltimore. These pictures.
Yeah, the 60. Or, I don't know, what was it when they had riots before? Is that 68 or something?
Yeah. And it's just like, I mean, the whole peaceful protesting thing is, it's kind of a joke. I mean, I get it. I used to get it because I used to be like just like I would say a liberal Democrat type motherfucker growing up. You know what I mean? And I felt like I got it then, and I understood it, but now I don't get it.
Well, the sad part is that there's nothing wrong with gathering and protesting something, but when the government can just like open the door into the castle and holler outside that we don't give a fuck, go away.
Yeah, the military is heavy in the streets. That shit is crazy. I mean, people are not even. You know.
it was like World War II, everybody would have a whole different perspective of seeing all this military type shit. You know, they'd be like training against a real invasion, but they're been invaded from
Hold
within,
it
and
down
they're
too
the
long.
invaders.
Yeah, let it go.
Well, they're still having the quote peaceful protest, right? But they're just telling those people to go home at curfew time.
I guess, but they're gonna they're gonna let those fools off. Stop! Fuck! Fucking biting the fuck out of me. They're gonna let those fools off the hook on like Friday. They're gonna announce it. So we'll
Yeah,
see
I
how
heard
mad people get.
I don't know. I heard a story that guy that was killed actually had a previous injury and he was receiving a settlement or something. So if he was previously injured, but
Yeah.
I say, why did you run from the cops? Well, they have, you know, if somebody's got a gun that's part of a gang that's been known to shoot unarmed people. Yeah, you'd want to run.
I don't know why everybody's afraid to say to burn that shit down. But we're gonna go. Fuck. What time? We're gonna go like 10 more minutes, and we're gonna go off air. I'm gonna host a off the air chat because I feel like there's a lot of shit you can't really say on air.
Well, the funny part about that too is, you know, as I chatted earlier, you know, that kind of shit is like we say it in here, even if it's off air. The people that want to listen to it are gonna listen to it. So
Yeah.
like, why then you get we talk about the social implications about letting all the general public know how you feel. There's some people that are just the trolls or whatever that just gotta fuck with you because they just don't like what you have to say. You know.
G's
Yeah.
still in here. I'm gonna text G. Where the fuck is he at? G Mangos.
Yeah, he's probably doing a lot of work from home, so he hadn't been driving downtown, but hopefully pretty soon he'll be able to go back to his office. Yeah, it was kind of a fun story. The only time I'd been to Baltimore was in 1964, and I was like 6 years old, and we were doing our East Coast vacation of, you know, District of Columbia and Virginia Beach and Williamsburg and all that shit. And we stopped at Baltimore because one of my grandfathers had a friend that was from there, and he sat a limo or something, picked us up at the hotel. We went to some real tall building in downtown Baltimore that had a restaurant on the roof, and that was all pretty cool. And we rode the limo home, and we were almost back to the hotel, and I go, "Phew, made it this far without a spanking." And the limo driver just started laughing. So that's my memory about going to Baltimore.
To go up there because you could. I think it was a little bit closer than DC, and that's where all the fucking games are. You can catch all sports in Baltimore, you know. Like
Yeah, you're close enough to hit lots of different markets real quick.
Yeah, and tickets were always cheap, like to the Orioles games, because they weren't never really good, and you got the Ravens there. You got what the fuck else you got there? Maybe that's it. I don't know, but
They got a hockey team. I don't know.
yeah, DC not too far. I don't think they got hockey, do they?
No,
I don't think
Philly was his place. I don't know.
maybe probably minor league or whatever for sure. But yeah, it's all bullshit, man. It's just people are gonna keep getting the same results with the same shit. You got all these people calling for peace, and it's just like, do they really believe in their heads that being peaceful and everything is gonna change the outcome of that dude dying, or the fact that those cops are gonna get away? That doesn't change that fact.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. That guy's dead. Nothing's really gonna happen to the cops, and it's just the same story, different day.
Yeah.
So was it Einstein that said something about, you know, I don't know, was it stupidity was doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result or something like that?
craziness. It's madness.
Well, I hope you survived your ordeal with your truck and going out to the Bundy Ranch. You know, I know it had to suck when it was happening, but hope you're looking back at it. That's an adventure.
I'm good. That was all for the camera. That was water in that bottle.
But I'll tell you what, your kids will remember that adventure.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I mean, they won't know really so much what the Bundy Ranch was about, but they'll know that. Well, we went to that Bundy Ranch place, and Dad got the truck stuck, and he was so mad.
The crazy part, I wasn't even mad, really.
Just frustrated, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a buzz kill or whatever.
I didn't really get mad until I figured out I wasn't getting it out till the next day. Then I was like, damn.
What did I do? I parked my truck in concrete.
Yeah, that was bullshit. But it was cool. Chris came out and we got that shit done. So, you know, gonna do something in July.
HDP. HDP, you out there?
What's up?
Hey.
It's gonna go to private chat. You want to add anything to anything we got here?
So what's going on?
We're just talking about just these people fucking being just doing the same shit they're doing and keeps getting the same ass result. They still don't get it yet. They got the military on the streets and everything like that. They still just don't get it yet.
Oh, right. Yeah, well. True story.
Title is sheep herding.
Yeah, sheep herding.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
some of us sheep know better. You know, we don't like it. You know, we don't want to be herding.
Even sheep, yeah, sheep at least, yeah, probably know better, at least a little bit.
Is that a wolf over there? No, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that cartoon with the dogs always warning them. They're like, or that one sheep's always like warning them, and they're like, "Would you stop it?" I don't think they're after us. The farmer's not got it in for us, or whatever he keeps saying.
That's fucking now. That is exactly what the fuck is going on now. I don't know, I'm just disappointed, basically, is what I was saying.
Well, careful what you wish for. You know, when you get it, it might be worse than you think, too.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just kind of like, you just wonder if, like, anybody gets it. Like, you think when, like, tanks roll out on the streets and shit like that people are going to be, like, blown away or something, and when they're just like, it's no big deal, you're just kind of like, what the fuck?
It's that desensitizing type bullshit, you know.
Yeah, for sure. That's the biggest fear right there, I think. People just become accustomed to it.
Well, it's like blood and guts and gore, you know. I mean, people get from video games and movies and everything, and then when they see it in real life, it doesn't have that impact that it might have if they weren't desensitized, you know. Yeah, I'm being programmed. It's an info war. The war is on for your mind.
Yeah, speaking of programming, has anybody actually seen this AARP ad play through on TV that they're talking about?
Not on television. I don't watch television.
Oh, right. Well, me neither. I haven't seen it either. I just wondered if anybody, right?
Right. Hopefully
the crowd.
Whoever started the video about it, hopefully they are referring to a real commercial, and then Justin Woolley was on the phone chatting with him for a while.
Yeah, that's what I found out about was Justin's video calling him up. I got the gist of it, what's going on, through that one article, but I haven't actually watched, the actual commercial. I didn't know if anybody had seen it. Like, that's just like blatantly like that doesn't happen. How does that happen by accident? It doesn't. That's just how much more in your face can things get. That's crazy.
I don't know. They just tried to scare the old people or something like that. I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's one effect. If they're even paying attention after that commercial, because it sounds like the radio broadcast is in the background.
Yeah, it
Right.
is. It's real soft. You really have to amp the volume to hear it. So maybe the people, they're all wearing hearing aids, so they probably wouldn't hear it anyway, but unless they get it subliminally somewhere. Many times you hear stuff, but you don't hear it.
Right.
I don't know, I keep seeing more of those, they're talking about those LRADs or whatever, those noise devices. Is there any way to defeat those things?
Shoot them through.
Yeah, go to shooting them.
Couple bullets to the dome would do it, but other than that, yeah, I think if you wear double hearing protection, I think it like helps.
Yeah, I talk about frequencies that resonate your chest cavity and weird shit like that too. So
Yeah, it does stuff like that, but it's better than nothing if you protect your entryways, I guess you'd say.
I mean, this why at that noise canceling technology that they use in headphones. If you just had a little bigger amplifier,
Alternating
and
frequency, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they have speakers or part of on your clothing or something, if that would protect you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's really a directional thing. You have to be in the direct angle of it too. Once you get off at like 120 degrees, I think, or something, it's ineffective too, I think.
Or create a reflector and send it right back at them. Take that, motherfuckers.
Yeah, that might be pretty obvious. I don't know how that would. Well, I guess any acoustic type absorption would work too, right?
Yeah, I think it's like one hard surface. I just bounce it back, but
right. If it's sound acoustics,
two ways to deal with it. You're totally absorb it.
Sound can be defeated. Yeah.
So it doesn't get to you, or send it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wonder if anybody, they have like EMP devices. If they have some real small ones that would direct a blast of EMP at their equipment.
Oh yeah, they've tested those on like for like runaway or cars or for like carjackings. Yeah. There's a device that they can like roll under a car on the move and like deactivate it, or basically blow the chip in it, and it slows down or whatever.
Yeah. Now if you had something that's more directional, like a small cannon.
Oh, I'm sure there's something like that out there, but
that's not at the cops and fucks their electronics up.
Yeah, if you invent one, share, please.
Yeah.
Make sure you do a video on it, all right?
Well, the whole concept of the EMP shit was basically some kind of a coil. Some kind of a coil. It's some kind of a coil. There's like a high explosives, and there's electric current goes through the coil, and the high explosives, the blast wave shorts out the circuit, so the current gets higher and higher and higher, and then the current gets to the point where there's no place for it to go. It turns into magnetism, I guess, and makes a big, long, high intense EM wave,
Yeah, you know more about it than I do.
There's stories on Popular Science about how they're built and shit like that, but of course they're talking about.
I remember seeing, like, every time they'd come up with something like that, my dad would show me the art because he got the subscription to it. He was always reading about that stuff.
Just too bad.
Tracers, some red tip. There's some API too. Too bad it's not 50 cal, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's fucking with what they're fucking with. Just crazy, man. I don't know.
Oh, man.
No organization, no fucking. There's not even no hope for that shit to take off.
The peaceful protest is organized. The violent side is just random and controlled opposition. That is.
Yeah, but did you see the pictures? Did you see the pictures? The not perfect one posted about what peaceful protests got back in the day.
Was this on Facebook or G+?
Yeah, Facebook.
Oh no, I haven't looked there today. What was it? Protest back in the day versus now or something?
I think it was even the ones that were in Baltimore. Oh shit. Let's see. Okay, I just shared it, so you should be able to see it too. What do you think about the snatch and grab?
Oh, the
Yeah, that was
protesters.
interesting. I mean, that's the standard technique for pulling somebody out of a crowd. If you're going to get an instigator, that's the way you do it. But where did they take him, and what's his booked on? What's his charges, right?
Inciting a riot.
Oh, for breaking curfew alone, they probably got him. And yeah, inciting a riot. Yeah, all kinds of other charges.
I don't know. Has there been any more about the crisis actors being involved? I saw something about some lady who had her purse snatched, and the same lady had the purse snatched twice, 2 different instances, and something about that woman that beat up her kid. That supposedly she was on some TV show or something.
Wait, she had been on a TV show before?
Yeah, like HBO or some one of those shows. I don't know. No, I wouldn't be surprised.
I hadn't seen anything about that.
All the spin. Sad part about conspiracies are that wacko. You wait long enough, they turn out to be true.
Yeah, we're definitely. It's funny because if you're following the Twitter feed on this, it's insane. I guess Twitter now allows nudity, so it's just like a toilet of fucking, and you got to go through each little turd to find the good turds of information on Twitter. Like they must have just changed it so you can have nudity because I never noticed that before, but now the trolls are just like it's just bombarded with, you know what I mean? All the popular hashtags are just bombarded with it. And bullshit.
Must be just your friends, Tony.
No, I'm serious. Look at it. Look the title up, and I mean, to find the actual news and all this bullshit is crazy.
Yeah, you know how you watch these different websites and they insert ads that are relevant to the things that you've been looking at or shopping for and stuff like that? You know, somebody called in Coast to Coast and says, "Do you know that you have porn on your site?" And Coast to Coast says, "No, and those are the places that you've been looking at." Yeah.
Yeah, this one. I mean, this one. It's crazy too, because on Twitter you cannot keep up with everything. You just have to like skim for the good shit, and then try to hopefully people do all the work within the allotted space, and you don't have to go click off on a long ass different link or something like that. But
Well, that's another trick that the government can do to stop our communication is just flood it with so much bullshit that the message gets lost.
Anytime these two boys can get on TV, they'll do whatever they'll do, whatever it takes. These boys just want to be on TV. It's
New York, that's on live stream right now.
What's that?
This is the live stream from NY right now. These guys are a bunch of conformist fucking retards, though.
They're talking about their shit spreading to an house, which is like 2 miles from the house.
Yeah. Got your magazines loaded?
Me and Mule were talking about earlier about them bringing in a national police force because they're starting to claim that this is a national security threat with all this breaking off in all these cities like this.
I guess they'll find a reason, right?
They admitted it on the news. They said that they think the federal government should come in because this is a national security threat.
Well, the media is making it worse than what it is. Just like they said, all the gang members are taking out the white cops. The gangbangers came on the next night and said, we're not against the cops. We're trying to help. So, media plays a lot of bullshit.
Pisses me off. I mean, it's both sides. They fucking both piss me off. You know, I have a personal fucking hate for fucking Sean Hannity. Just want to punch him in the fucking makeup face. He's so fucking stupid.
Bottom line is,
Like, I get home off work and I'm hearing about the riots all day on the radio, but I can't see it that day or whatever. So I get home and I'm hoping to watch coverage. I don't really give a fuck because I know all the news networks lie, but I want to see the visual coverage, what they're allowing me to see or whatnot. And you got fucking Sean Hannity who will cut away from the news to show his fat face talking to another fat face. I won't even put a cut scene of the fucking live feed of the fucking story that he's fucking, you know, I mean, it's insane the way this dude talks. Like, he would sit in the studio and yell at the dude on the ground to ask fucking, like, inflammatory questions and shit. Taking his fucking makeup face out there and fucking asking the questions himself. So, like, I'm sitting through there and I'm like, I'll mute it, and then I can watch the coverage, but I don't have to hear nobody talk.
fucking, I was about to kick this bitch in her fucking throat today. Like, this fucking dumb bitch, my wife's friend, lives here. We were talking about it, and her boyfriend lives down there. She was like, "Oh, do you think it's real bad, G? Do you think it's still bad? Like, what's going on?" Like, motherfucker, turn on the fucking news. Your boyfriend lives in Baltimore, motherfucker. You should fucking know what's going on. And any second. Oh, I mean, I heard the guy had he had back problems. He had back surgery right before this. Are you sure they did that to him? What did he do? What did he do? You dumb bitch. What don't you understand? You shelter, the girl lives in a sheltered life. She lives in a fucking bubble, man. And those are the motherfuckers that live here and are clueless. Do you think the cops did it? Do you think the cops really did that to him? I'm like, dude, it's just like talking to a fucking 5-year-old, man. My 7-year-old son, dude. I forgot to tell you the other night, HTP. My son comes home yesterday, and he says at recess they played a new game. And I said, well, what's the new game, Roger? He says, we were playing Baltimore. I said, what the fuck is Baltimore? So what are you talking about? He said, oh, we go onto the field and we act like we're throwing stuff at cops and we beat each other up. And he says that's what Baltimore is.
Hey.
These motherfuckers down here, it's not about Freddie Gray no more, man. They turned it into race because that's what the black. Unfortunately, my best friend's black, man, for 30 fucking years. I'm no racist by any means. But what I'm telling you is that there's a lot of racists that are blacks in that city, and they hate white people. My boys were at Pickles across the street from Camden Yards, man, when that shit was going, when the shit fucking broke out, dude. People were just fighting on the streets, dude. I mean, if you were white, you were being attacked. And either you fight or you're gonna get fucked up. They were throwing dumpsters at people. One of my boys said a dumpster fucking flew by his face, hit the fucking cafe's window front.
Yeah, on the live feed, the main screen's locked on Tony, so you might want to unlock him so that they can see the video that you're playing, G.
I locked it. I locked it on my screen.
Well, on the YouTube feed, you see Tony.
Tell Tony to click on me. Thanks, Tony. This is Baltimore tonight. They got motherfuckers there like Michael Jackson. It looked like a county fair today. It looked like a county fucking fair down there. It ain't about that boy no more, man. And it's sad.
Well, what do you think should happen down there, G?
Honestly, I mean, it shouldn't have got. Honestly, the mayor fucked up. First of all, the mayor told everyone, obviously they want the police to hide the man, yada yada, but they told everybody to stand down and let the city just fucking do what they want to do. You know, and what the fuck were you thinking? What was the lady thinking when she made that call?
She got ratted out.
Oh yeah, she deserves it to get rounded out. She shouldn't be there, dude. She has no. Shit's a clusterfuck down there, bro. It's a clusterfuck. I would have took a fire extinguisher from the fire department, have that bitch on base, and just fucking spray motherfuckers down. That shit hurts. I don't believe in the police shooting people. I don't believe police taking out beanbags and start shooting motherfuckers. I don't believe in that. I think they should have de-escalated the situation when it started. Take control of your fucking city. And the fucking gangs, the Crips, the Black Gorillas, the Bloods, they need to be on the streets. They need to be there to prevent that shit from happening. If they're going to preach that they're going to help and they're going to fucking, they don't want this shit there because it's an embarrassment. They're all embarrassed. The city of Baltimore should be ashamed. They're all, it's an embarrassment. They took a situation and they made it another situation. Shouldn't have been like that. The city fucked up. She fucked up. The mayor fucked up. The police department fucked up. You know, they all fucking ran like bitches when they were all swatted up, coming in G-Rads, coming in fucking deep. You should have seen them last night, boy. They were all fucking decked up. Looking tactical as shit. Motherfuckers didn't know what to do when they saw those motherfuckers coming in the streets. It's different. People can sit there and watch, and you guys can say, not you guys, but you know, people out there can say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. You motherfuckers don't live here. They don't live down here, man. It's a different breed down here in Baltimore. Watch The Wire. You'll catch up real quick. Watch a couple of seasons of The Wire. There you go. There you have it. You think these motherfuckers would watch Ferguson and smarten up and take control of their neighborhoods?
Hey, you wanna keep it open, or are you trying to?
Yeah. Keep it open. Yeah.
All right.
I'm not saying the police. Yeah. I'm not saying the police should take their guns out and shoot motherfuckers too. I'm against that. Here in Maryland, you can't have a concealed carry permit. It's fucking impossible. It can't happen. And you guys who do have carry permits, you guys can't come down here and fucking carry. You can't. You can't. Unless you're feds, cops, military, yada, yada, yada. I mean, when Sarah's uncle comes down here, he's a SEAL. Yeah, he's strapped up 24/7. He's military. Do I think that it should be equal? Do I believe everyone should be carrying a weapon? Damn right. It should be legal. If you're in Vegas and you get to go to your local grocery store, carry it, well, why the fuck can't I? And I think if everyone had guns, I think this place, if everyone, chilled out and get some fucking hobbies in their life and some fucking structure. The little 15-year-old boy was out in the streets last night and didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He didn't know what he was doing. I was at a friend's house. My mama called and she told me to get home. The news anchor did say, go home, boy. Go home. 15 years old. You know who I blame? I don't blame the 15-year-old. I blame his fucking parents for not knowing where the fuck he is. Because my 15-year-old's not going to be on no fucking street. Take control of your fucking kids. If you can't control your fucking kids, dude, you got problems. You go get some help. If you can't monitor your kid and you don't know where he is, that's a problem. But the problem is, HDP and Jim, the parents here don't give a fuck. They don't care. I used to go to 3 different projects to go pick up those kids and play football when I used to coach. I used to coach 13 and 0. 13 age, unlimited pounds. I had kids smoking blunts before practice. I sent them out, and they would have to walk or ride their bikes. They loved the projects. And then the boys that I went and picked up, man, were fucking all-stars. One of my kids played in the NFL, playing with the Carolina Panthers. I paid their tuition to play ball. It was like $160. Their parents, some of them were fucking basing in the hallways. So a lot of them were zoomed out, couldn't drive, didn't have cars, don't care. And then you had a lot of, of course you had a lot of kids that did care. Their parents did care and raised them right. But I went to 3 different projects, man, and I picked their kids up because I knew they wanted to play ball. And I knew their parents didn't give 2 fucks. And the problem is these city boys, they don't have things to do other than sell weed, sell coke, sell some crack, sell some rocks, make their money, buy their shoes. Everyone has to have a fresh pair of shoes. And then they fucking just think they're me no brain until it catches up to them. That's their life. That's what they know. Half these kids that you hear, that you see down the city, they're fucking paying their rent. They're paying their rent. They all Section 8. They all got tops $300 in rent. The kids are fucking paying for it. They're out there selling that fucking crack and they're fucking giving money to their parents. They're paying the bills. You see a lot of the teenagers taking care of the little kids, their sisters and brothers. And when those kids see those fucking TVs, those fucking video cameras, they run. They run and they want to be in the spotlight and they want to do stupid shit. And this is what they want to do. This is what they know. Because that's all they know. Because there's no structure from the parents. There's no structure. There's no monitoring system. They don't give 2 fucks. Because they would rather get a bag and start basing in the hallways or in their house or yada yada. They don't care who's watching. As long as you meet the police department, they don't give 2 fucks. They'll go right in front of you, knowing you, don't know you. And then people say, hey, why don't you let those motherfuckers burn it down? Burn the motherfuckers down. And we do show. It's not the city of Baltimore that's bad. Yeah, Baltimore, they're on the top 10 list, yada yada. It's the people in Baltimore that make it bad. It's people like these cats that you see on here causing ruckus. Because the mayor gave them permission to. You give them an inch, they'll take them out. And that's what these motherfuckers do. I see it. I couldn't even drive to my fucking office for the last 10 days because she wouldn't let me go because she knows either I wouldn't come back or I would end up in the hospital or something. Because me, you all know how I am. You guys know. But I can't do it by myself. I can't take on a city by myself. But hey, I'm the type of motherfucker that would fucking lead and have motherfuckers follow me. And I would lead them in the right direction and try to fucking make them focus on the main problem. Because right now, these motherfuckers don't care about Freddie Gray. It ain't about Freddie Gray. It ain't about Freddie Gray. That shit was done on the fucking funeral. What the fuck do these white people have anything to do with Freddie Gray? Nothing. All those stores, all the shops,
They
the
feel
church,
guilty.
the minister that built those homes for the senior citizen, he built 60 homes and those motherfuckers burned it down. 8 years those motherfuckers were working on that shit and they burned them all down. They try to do things for the homeless here in Cleveland. They have shelters. They do what they can. They give back, man. There's a lot of shit these days. But Baltimore is not bad. Baltimore is a beautiful, gorgeous fucking city. Go to the harbor. Just don't leave the harbor. That's all. And that's the thing. I shouldn't have to say, hey, don't leave the harbor. You should go wherever you want to be, boy. It's gorgeous. But unfortunately, don't leave the harbor.
But yeah, but what happens when the people from the neighborhoods go down to the harbor?
When they go down to the harbor, they stick to their kind, and they fucking just go down.
And how fucked up is that? How fucked up is even saying it? But how fucked up is even saying it? You know, that they stick to their own kind. Fuck that. This is supposed to be America. But that's dude, gee, that's what all this is about, dude. It's all about divide and conquer so they can bring down this police bullshit. Okay?
Exactly.
The city of Baltimore is fucked, right? There's no jobs for most of the people. There's plenty of jobs for the rich up-and-comers that have decent educations, that are working in web design or some shit like that, right?
But hospitals, medical fields, very huge down here. Johns Hopkins.
Right, but what is there for the people in neighborhoods? Are they running nursing fucking? Are they giving out free nursing fucking educations in the fucking ghetto? No, they're not.
They don't care. They
right?
liquor stores.
Are they turning these people into doctors? No, they don't give a fuck about them. They're locking up half the people for every petty crime that they can make up, like the same I said earlier. Right, when I was in before, and I fucking started screaming because, you know, all you see online right now about Freddie Gray is all his arrests for fucking petty pot fucking dealing or even petty coke dealing, whatever, because that's the only fucking job that kid could find. And guess what? That's part of the job requirement. When you're down there and you get a job dealing, part of the job requirement, part of the job you have is to get arrested because it's going to happen.
That's it. That's all they know. That's their right.
And that's the only fucking job down there, especially for some kid who doesn't even have a GED, because he comes from a hell block.
Comes from the streets, and all he knows is bigger brother don't hustle. Now he's hustling, and he's got to continue. And the parents take their money, and they're paying the bills.
What? The one parent, right? And they're lucky if one parent's in the house, not being raised by grandma.
Our grandma, yeah, that's very huge down here. Very huge.
Yeah, so why are they lashing out and busting up everything that's fucking good in their areas? Because they're so sick of not getting part of that good. And are they misdirected? Hell yeah, they're misdirected. They should be tearing down City Hall. They should be tearing down every police station. They should be tearing down the fucking courthouses. Are they doing those things? No, they're only lashing out at anything they can at this point. And that's even if they're the people in the neighborhoods are doing it. If it's not agent provocateurs coming in and doing it for them. Like I said earlier, man, this is all just to gear up for the police state, dude. That's why they're talking about how it's happening in New York now, and of course, pretty soon it's going to be Oakland, Chicago, wherever, because something stupid's going to happen. Some cop's going to get off for fucking murdering somebody.
What happened in New York today?
I don't know. They're having a sympathy riot or a sympathy protest for Baltimore.
Oh Lord. And where's that being held? Right downtown fucking Queens?
I don't know. I wasn't paying that much attention. Tony was. What happened to Tony? Did he pass out?
No, he says.
And what's up, HD?
You want to do a shout out for me?
I just jumped in, dude. I had to go deal with some shit, and that's why. And I came back in, and then I got to go get the old lady in about an hour. So.
I don't have it.
But dude, people are not getting it, dude. It's a class thing, right? And this has been. We're gonna see a lot more of this, right? This is like Tony was saying. This is fucking spring, not even cold spring, right? So not even fucking warm spring yet. And you think it's heating up now? Psh, shit.
Cold spring.
I'm just saying, man, we're going to be seeing more of this summer. Watch. And it's all part of a narrative, this national police state narrative. Like I said earlier, they want to do away with shit like sheriffs and voted in police chiefs. They want to have a fucking national police so that way they can inflict federal law on everybody. It'll override state law, and then what do we have? I mean, right now we have soft tyranny. That will start being hard tyranny. But by the time it becomes hard tyranny, it's too fucking late. And all these motherfuckers that you're showing, right? All these cops lined up here waiting for somebody's head to bash in, right? Just fucking sucking up the overtime like Tony was talking about, right? They all think they're fucking 3%ers. They all think they're freedom-minded motherfuckers.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Oh, yeah, they do. They come on the chats and tell us they do. They come on the chats and talk about how, I tortured people, but now I'm freedom-minded. I don't quite agree with that shit no more. Fuck you on every goddamn chat. Fuck. And everybody over
what are you talking about?
Listening to this guy. Whatever. It doesn't matter. He knows who I'm... Those who know. Right?
Recently or like in the past couple years or what?
Both. Right? There's plenty of people out there who push this information. And they jump onto chats and they push disinformation. And they know, some of them know they're doing it, a lot of them don't. They just buy the line. I mean, some of them are just so ingrained to follow the party line that they don't even know when they do it.
It's natural.
Well, shit, when you spend your whole career in either military or law enforcement or both, you're so used to following fucking orders, plenty of times you're following ones you don't agree with, that it's hard to not be ingrained into that shit. Hard not to get, the party line and go, okay, that makes sense. I've heard that a billion times. I've participated in this shit. And go, it makes perfect sense that they're doing what they're doing.
Right. That's true.
And you hear it all the time, but they can't cross that street to look at it from other people's perspectives, right? Because they only have that one perspective. When you've never, it's hard for people to understand what it feels like to get a shotgun in your ear until you've had a shotgun in your ear. Right? And when you're always the one putting the shotgun in your ear, in other people's ears, then you get real used to that position. And I'll tell you what, as a man, the most fury I've ever felt, not fear, fury, was when I've had that done. Or when I've seen my kids being covered by guns because some idiot wants to fuck with me. And that's where that kind of rage comes from that causes people to lash out at anything. When you give people nothing left to lose, then they got nothing left to lose. When all you can take is my freedom or my life, you're in more trouble than I am. You have more to lose than I do.
Well, that's yeah. That's the class. We've been talking about that for over a year, People getting pushed to the edge. It's going to take getting over that. Everybody's got their breaking point. It's more. They're more afraid of living than they are of dying. That's the key. Or continuing to live as they are, I should say. I mean, it's better to die than to keep living the way you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to change.
And I'll tell you what, man, I've had it happen, so I know what it feels like, And that's why I can understand. I understood the fury of Ferguson for whatever reason that it started out as, right? I understand the fury here. I'm amazed there wasn't fucking, I'm amazed the Bronx didn't burn, or Brooklyn, or fucking Staten Island at least, over the Ferguson thing. But then again, it amazed me that shit didn't happen during Occupy Wall Street. I mean, there was damn good reasons. You know how many... the dude who steals a fucking pack of cigarettes or a bottle of booze gets fucking hung, right? But the motherfucker who robs a city, who robs the wealth out of half the country, what does he get? He gets a pat on the back and told, you're too big to fail, buddy. And then I get told, follow the law. What about them fucksticks up in Wall Street that didn't follow the fucking law? Nobody bitches about them, but you're gonna scream at somebody stealing toilet paper. So they stole toilet paper, man. Do you understand that? They stole fucking toilet paper. I know they keep telling everybody they stole big screen TVs. Fuck you. CVS don't sell big screen TVs. They stole fucking toilet paper. Oh, look, there's a nice armored vehicle rolling around the streets of an American city. How's that look for you? Are you used to it yet? You will be by the 2016 election. You'll be, America will be begging for that shit.
That's a vulnerable target right there. That thing's an easy takedown right there. That's a light skinned vehicle compared to an MRAP.
It's not the vehicle itself. It's what it represents.
Mental conditioning.
Yeah, look at the cops standing behind him. I mean, come on, seriously, one dude in a window could take them all out. But that's not the point of it, right? That's not going to happen, and that's not the point, right? It's the point to get this feeling, this fear, right? Everybody's afraid now. So what happens? What do people do when they're afraid? Stupid shit. And that's one of the most basest emotions that human beings have is fear. Look at what we signed over on 9/11, like I mentioned, 2 hours ago, right? Patriot Act never would have passed, NDAA never would pass, blah, blah, blah. 9/11 happens, all of a sudden everything's fucking hunky-dory, everybody signs on. It's ridiculous. And this is what they feed. So America's going to want to see more of this. They're believing that crime is running out of hand, even though we all know statistically it's not, right? This is all the gin up the fear thing for the upcoming election, and to implement some kind of fucking real police state, a national police. And there's multiple reasons why they want it. And if anybody thinks, and listen to the people who say it's a good thing, and you know it's a fucking bad thing. What did Prepared Minds say today? The same thing we've all said. How do we know when politicians are lying? Their fucking lips are moving. And I'm sorry, G, it's happening in your city. If I had any recommendation for you, G, would be get my kids and my wife and send them up somewhere outside of fucking Maryland right now. And then I'd go help burn the motherfucker down and start directing people in the right direction. You're taking out the wrong things with CVS and a fucking senior daycare center. Go dust off that courthouse. Go burn that fucker to the ground. That would be a smarter thing to do, more effective. It would get your point across better. Same with City Hall. You have a problem with City Hall, you have a problem with the cops, you have a problem with the courts. Why don't you take your problems out with the people who you really have a problem with?
That was my issue. That was my question.
Well, because they don't know. They don't know. And where do you think the best protection is going to go? Where do you think while CVS was burning and other places were burning, where do you think there were cops standing around?
Somebody did show a picture of the police station. It had like a couple cops and some of the fences, but it wasn't nothing. I mean, still though, that's where you take the attention to. You take it to them. Yeah. You know.
But they're snatching up the leadership, like we were mentioning earlier. We saw them, that non-violent guy who was a leader in Ferguson, right? And he's an activist that has been actively being an activist against police brutality nationwide, right? And then he gets snatched up off the streets right on CNN.
Oh, so
and you saw that. That was a total black bag job.
that guy was from previous. He protested elsewhere or something.
Yeah, he protested elsewhere, but he promotes nonviolence, right? And he was telling everybody to get off the streets because that's what they were telling people, to get onto the sidewalks, and he was promoting people to go home and let this thing die down, right? And what do? They snatch him up off the streets, and you ain't going to see his ass till Monday, right? Because he's now in the system, and with like they did in Ferguson, like they did in Occupy Wall Street, like they did in anything that these peaceful protests, they immediately slow down their processing. First of all, because they bust so many people, and B, because they actively slow it down to keep them in the system. Because if you're in on paper yet, your 72 hours don't start.
Right.
And for those of you that don't know, I could tie this all the way back up to me in Chicago with that whole fucking black site. That's exactly what they would do. They would lock you up but not put you in the system yet, so that the second they put you in the system, they have 72 hours to charge you or drop you, right? But if they don't put you in the system for 2 weeks, then your 72 hours never started. So, but you know, we're getting to see it folded in for, and you know, I guess we're luckier than Germany was, you know, because some of us get to see it and pull our hair out. You know, I'm sure there were plenty of people who were kind of surprised at some of this shit when they finally woke up in Germany. But every motherfucking swinging dick on this planet is going to have no longer an excuse of not knowing that the information was out there after this fucking thing after they shut down this fucking internet. All your excuses are done. Because you've been told. Informed. You just had to be discernible enough to be able to sift through the bullshit.
Well, that's definitely very hard to do with all the counter intel and propaganda and misinformation. Any normal person would have a really difficult time unless they have a guide and somebody to help them out. You know, I couldn't imagine anybody starting it off on their own, you know?
Well, not these days. I don't know. I do feel for the people, and I'm amazed to see people wake up every day, and people who are awake reach new levels of being awake every day. And yes, I admit that, you know, I've lived through most of this, so.
Well, and this should be a real, I mean, to kind of tie it in, this should be a wake-up call too. I mean, this is minor in the big picture. This is a minor incident, and really, you know, but it practically shut down half a city, you know, just like, and same with Ferguson. But when and if the economy really falls apart, and people aren't able to get money out, and people aren't able to get what they need, I mean, you can just imagine what every big city's going to be like. Now, this is mild, you know?
Man, they're going to be shutting cities down like fucking...
well, they're going to try.
Umbrella City?
They ain't going to be able to. I mean, if they can't take... I mean, unless they start just killing people. I mean, unless they just start dropping the hammer on and just straight up killing people. But they ain't going to be able to do crowd control. Not in a place where people are starving and people need food. Yeah, no. So, yeah, if you...
Well, and that's the next step, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the next step, right? So they're going to try and do crowd control first, but then it's going to go ugly quick.
Well, try to condition people not to resist crowd control, I guess maybe is the objective.
Well, that's what part of this is, right? This overwhelming force, 10,000. You know, they announced in a fucking press conference where
that wasn't 10,000. There's not 10,000 troops there.
No, there's not. But they put out the propaganda that there's going to be.
Yeah, well, that's like there were LRADs
sometimes
and everything else at the Bundy Ranch. There was all that too, but
right. Yeah, but see now propaganda. They can make it is propaganda.
It keeps the borderline fence stragglers at home in front of the TV. I guess that's kind of your point.
And look at what happens on the TV. What are they showing? Because there's blocks and blocks of empty, right? Protesters aren't on every street corner. But what's the live feed show? It shows the mob of cops waiting to get busy. You know, it shows the rolling armor rolling by. Okay, it intimidates, and that's the narrative they put out, like it's a fucking war zone in Baltimore, right? Like it all of a sudden turned into Beirut and shit in the 80s, you know?
Yeah, and
Or
the thing is
Syria
too,
now.
if people were really trying to be malicious, I mean, they would easily be able to do things too, because there's a lot of.
Oh, this isn't even bad. Yeah, this isn't even as bad as Northern Ireland. Come on, there's no Molotovs flying.
Oh, there's no active patrolling or anything.
Yeah. So, but the narrative that they're putting out in the mainstream, the shit that they're spreading all over the mass media,
They did do that first night. I did see one thing they showed on the overhead, the helicopter angle from the TV station. Or it was the Sunday afternoon, I think. It's today Wednesday. Maybe it was Monday afternoon. My days are all screwed up. Monday afternoon, they did show a armored car, and it was just rolling. It would go one block, stop at the main intersection. Everybody would jump out the back. One guy would look one guy each way down each road, and they just pump out pepper balls or smoke, and then they'd roll the next one. And it's like, so they're doing random disbursement, even if there was nobody there. I mean, the commentator was even saying like, this is interesting. They're, going block to block, and basically nothing's going on, but they're like taking actions. It's like they're going through a rehearsed drill almost.
Well, and just last night, I don't remember which site was sharing it, but there was a group they were shooting that disbursement shit on the journalists before they snatched that guy up. They were trying to disperse all those journalists in that intersection, right? And that's why CNN, if you look at that shot, it's kind of grainy because they were at a distance because they were lobbing pepper balls at them and shooting him with the disbursement agent the whole time.
And, when you put it all together, and like this CNN anchor saying blame the veterans for all this potential violence, it's all coming together. All the propaganda they put out and all the terror threat warnings, it's like all getting wrapped in a nice little package,
Dude, I'm telling you, this shit is driving me up a wall because people don't see that this is the implementation of the police state. This is and we're up for a year and a half of it, right? This is the election season. We're up for at least a year and a half of it because one of those things that he had on his agenda, and that the powers that be have on their agenda, is they want a national police. They got to get rid of these governors. They got to get rid of some of these independent state thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point. And well, what do you think about the Texas governor basically saying we're going to be watching you everything you do. Governor Abbott there in Texas with his deal and watching the Jade Helm 15.
Oh, I don't think is that a bad thing? That's not a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Texas is one of two minds, right? Texas is the only country that joined the United States. And they never let the United States forget that. I wouldn't know that if I hadn't been taught that because Texans made sure I was taught that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The original 13 were their own countries, but it's
that's iffy.
Neither here nor there. They considered themselves.
They liked it, but they had governorships over there. They were colonies, not countries.
Until they declared their own independence, and once they functioned as countries after that, up until
the ratification of the Constitution.
Of the Constitution, yeah, until 1791.
All right, so technically you're right, but if we're gonna cut hairs,
but also New Hampshire didn't join the original 13 and was independent for up until the Constitution, or somewhere right before that. So anyway, splitting hairs to a certain extent, but it does have a little bit of bragging rights, I guess.
Fair enough. But
and that's part of the problem is people don't understand the state's function as an independent entity that is part of a confederation, a republic, not a top-down democracy that everybody thinks.
Yeah, well, that's because listen to how many people talk about this republic as a democracy.
Every day.
And that bullshit's been fed to everybody. We're a democratic republic. No. Okay, we're a republic. There's a giant difference, and democratic republic usually has peoples after it, right? So fuck you. You know, even though that's what they want to turn it into. They want to turn the United States into a goddamn communist country, basically. Not understanding that shit failed. Well, we're right on the edge of the final nails in that coffin, Tone. I mean, if they can get this fucking police state shit up and rolling, if some kind of federal police, all under, all of them under one fucking roof, every uniform, we're so fucked.
It's funny because the good thing about watching these like the three major news networks is you usually catch the like the police candid as fuck, like even though there's a ton of media standing around, I saw a bunch of them fucking all get together for a group picture, laughing and smiling and shit, all in their fucking tacked out gear, and you had the one guy fucking holding the cell phone taking a picture of the group, and it's just like, it's a joke to see these fucking guys, and they're proud of what they do, Takes a real fucking moron idiot to be able to fucking be propagandized into fighting your fellow man, your fellow countryman.
Oh, don't get me started, man. Some of the propaganda I'm seeing straight out of Belfast and fucking Palestine and fucking Beirut, and I'm telling you, man. And especially it reminds me of fucking Belfast, when I saw that kid giving that cop water, man. I remember seeing that image in the 80s on the orange side, the Brit side.
Yeah,
were you waiting for him to roll out a hand grenade?
That image looked so fucking staged, just like the mom smacking her kid in the head, like.
No, that didn't look staged to me. I know plenty of black moms that if they know their kid was out there.
I know, but I'm just saying the way that they're using it now is just like.
Yeah, that was more organic, but they're just going to use that to their advantage, right? And what's funny is they're basic. They let you know through multiple ways, right? You can whirl this into the Hunger Games. I mean, the propaganda is just out there, and it's the way they spin it. And the fact that they can legally, by law, so don't break that law. You have to push propaganda because it's the law now.
Didn't propaganda used to be like
illegal? Yes. It was still done, but it was illegal. Now they can legally do it by statute.
No, I'm saying propaganda back in the day was almost maybe like subliminal. You know what I mean? It wasn't blatant. Maybe it wasn't subliminal, but it definitely wasn't blatant as fuck in your face like it is now. It's like people to me. Well, I'm just saying. People to me
remember Ronnie Reagan, okay? Ronnie and fucking, come on, Ronnie and Nancy.
Say no to drugs.
Oh shit, and not all kinds of crazy shit beyond that, right? I mean, fuck, missiles everywhere. Let's not even get started, man. We've been force-fed propaganda since the invention of radio.
I'm just saying
since the invention of letter type. But
now it's live on Front Street, and people don't pay attention. They got their heads so far up their asses that like they don't even have a reason to hide it anymore. It could just be blatant
and they're
as fuck.
using the propaganda to instill fear. And what does that do? That makes people shove their head further up their ass and make them say, scream for security.
They could have.
How do you think?
Have a commercial just like They Live the movie on TV. It could be a real fucking ad. Obey, buy this, and people would think it's hip and cool.
Do you want to see? This Orwellian nightmare, right? Has you can blame the Brits for it. This whole CCTV cameras everywhere bullshit and advancing that narrative from the IRA bombers of the 70s, right? Going into London and starting blowing shit up after they killed Mountbatten. All of a sudden, the state came in heavy because they were a monarchy, so they could. Those people are really not as free as they like to think they are, right? They are always subjects of the Queen. So the Queen came in, the government, came in and started instilling all this CCTV shit and this Orwellian crap to where that island's ridiculous now. And we, being the Anglophiles that we are as a nation, I guess, decided that was a good idea. And now we're turning the same way. And we have now have the Orwellian nightmare that jointly we've put together and passed on to the rest of the world. Right? When they read 1984, they said, this is an awesome plan. We got to try this out. And we got it.
I think it'd be an interesting, good chat just for you to have a chat one night talking about the history of that conflict. Give actual, events that took place and the history of that. And I don't know, just something maybe to give people a perspective on, just like what you're talking about right now. I'm just saying, if you could relay some of those important...
I really hope we don't have to go that route, because that's a long war. They've been fighting that war. It's not even done. They're still counties of Ireland that belong to Great Britain. So that's a never-ending fight. But I'm telling you what brought us to the Orwellian state we're in now. And it's just
what I was saying is there's a time period in there that's kind of modern almost, in the modern time. You know what I mean? To where it was like a police state damn near. You know what I mean?
It still is. And now all of England, all of Great Britain is a police state, except for the rural areas of Wales and Scotland and Ireland. But for the most part, it's all a police state. There's CCTV on everything, and why do you think the cameras in your equipment can record you? I mean, that nanny state is to a point to where they're going to start watching your kids for you at home through your fucking TV, and if you don't treat them right, they're going to bust you for it. All kinds of crazy shit they're doing over there in Great Britain. And trust me, that's the test bed for us.
There's G.
I've been here. Just listening.
Yeah, I'm just a rant fool tonight.
It's a good chat tonight.
I got here. Great.
It's just this whole bullshit and the constant race baiting to get this whole Baltimore thing to be a race thing, when there's so many more reasons for what is going on, and they're trying to find the easiest way to keep people divided, and you see people willing to be divided. I mean, people are trying to make it like it's Gray's fault for running. If he hadn't ran, he wouldn't have gotten his neck broke.
Yeah, that's what
right? Even though, if you... Yeah, but even though when you start pointing out that, no, it's kind of standard op over in most large police forces, right, to when they throw people in a paddy wagon, even though they're supposed to seatbelt them, they don't. They leave them with their hands cuffed behind their backs, and then they take them on a nice rough ride. What does that mean? They head down to an industrial area, and they drive like having fun. Well, what does that do to the people in the back? Well, it turns them into a ping pong fucking ball. And they've been doing that in back of paddy wagons for a long time. But most of America has never been in the back of a paddy wagon. So they can give a fuck.
If they really give a fuck, they'll be fucking on the police.
And why do you think they call it a paddy wagon? Even till this day on CNN and all the rest. Why do you think they call it a paddy wagon? P-A-D-D-Y. Why do you think it's never called St. Patty's Day with T's? It always should be with D's. Why? Because they're talking about the Irish. That's what those wagons were designed for, to throw Irish in. Because they were the riotous. They were the ones in the ghettos in the 19th and early 20th century. They were the ones that threw up riots at fucking slave labor jobs. Cantankerous people the Irish are. And you want to know what they called them in Europe? You know what the derogatory term was for them?
I heard it before.
The N word of Europe is the Irish.
Yeah. Seems like they just couldn't wait for it. You know, it seems like they just couldn't wait to start all this bullshit. Now that they got their chance, the mayor came out and said they're just going to hold back. They're not going to do anything. They're going to stand down, yada yada. What do you think they're going to do? But if it was about Freddie Gray, they would have went to the police station and blown the fucker up. They would have tried.
But they were there, you know, they were
But they weren't there because it wasn't about them. It was about them having an opportunity to act like a bunch of fucking animals.
The original protests were held at the police station. Okay, the first week of protests, which were pretty big, were held at the police station. It was when they pushed them from the police station onto the streets. What did you think was going to happen? Right after that
chaos.
Right after the funeral, you pushed them away from the funeral and you pushed them away from the fucking police station. And what did they think was going to happen? They knew, and they knew what they were doing.
They knew what was going to happen, and they, like you said, exactly.
I mean, for whatever reason Ferguson happened, do you remember during the first few nights of the fucking protests were civil? It only started getting ugly when cops started shooting fucking tear gas and rubber bullets.
And even their ARs that turned to shoot people when they took wrong turns. And the guy said, I'm going to fucking kill him. The bald-headed guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy who was thinking.
No, but that was on the supposedly good day. Remember, after the fucking first couple of nights of riots, that's when that scared cop did that, right? Yeah. But I'm talking about the original protests were peaceful, right? Until the cops started the fucking riots. They're the ones that started tear gassing and rubber bulleting and using dispersal agents to get people out of there. They're the ones that started it. And nobody wants to remember that because all of a sudden these cops become these heroes once the people strike back, right? Once the people have had enough and they lash back, all of a sudden these cops are heroes again, right? They're not the fucksticks that murdered somebody, right? They're not the ones that choked somebody out. They're now the protectors of what they are told to protect. And in Ferguson, you saw they were told not to protect certain things and told to protect other things. So, and most people these days, being they are low information, just want to go to work, do my daily grind, try and unwind from work. I don't want to be involved in politics. I don't want to be involved in anything scary. So, and they're constantly being fed the fear thing. So they're looking away because they don't want to look at it. Have very little information. The information they get is usually in a 20-second sound blurb, right? A headline. And they believe it. And then they fill in the blanks. They don't need facts. We're humans. Our brains will fill them in for us if we need it. Research shit? Hell, HTTP just put out something on check your information. When you're going to post shit, check and see if it's real or not. If it's not just some dude in a white bus, going to the Walmart to go buy toiletries from fucking some camp around there. Find out some real facts before you start, being part of the disinformation. But so many people don't want, they don't have the time, nor the inclination, desire to actually dig that deep. And once they start digging deep, it's even scarier than the shit they're pushing out at you. Because once you start delving into the deep side of the pool, it's a deep, dark, scary world down there. See you, Jim.
Take care, man. We still got fucking 21. We got more people watching now than earlier. Damn. I think nobody else going to listen.
I'll let somebody get a word in edgewise.
No, like it. Not a lot to say, brother. You've been to WoW for a while, and I'm happy that your audio works. How did you get that shit working? Anyhow.
Camera still ain't working, but I got a mic running, so
Well, that's more important.
that way I'm not typing.
Well, that's,
'Cause I suck at that shit, and somebody
Oh.
having to read my rant, I couldn't imagine.
well, I've got the time for that. It just would have been nice again to see us focusing, see the situation and learn from it. It would have been nice to stand tall and stick to the topic, stick to what really matters. It's that guy that it's we just fell under their trap. Exactly. We just fell under their trap. That's exactly what happened. We did what they wanted us to do.
And it's easy, dude. I mean, they've made, it's easy to fall into the trap, bro. It really is. It's easy to do because once they start they push out that fear, and it's the closer it is to where you live, the easier it is to get afraid because when you can smell the smoke, right? It's scary shit. But even for the whole rest of the country, dude, that's why it becomes national news. It becomes a national fear. So that way people here in Ottawa start looking at their neighbors funny because their skin color may be different. And we're nowhere near this shit. And our lives are nowhere near it. But it doesn't change people the way they react. Right? So it continues to drive that wedge between Americans by separating us. And
Because
they have
it's
a whole
harder
bunch
because it's harder to overcome the man and the system with limited people. So it's easier for them to divide us so we can't stand together. And that's the problem, because we can accomplish a lot of things if we stuck together as a country, as a city, as a state. You can it would be so terrific if people could actually stick together and fucking be on the same page. And you can see fucking magic. You can see shit happen that you never thought would happen. If a motherfucker was just nice and courteous and just was a regular dude or woman that didn't cause friction or drama. And when the shit goes down, you stick together. Like a neighborhood, a city, a state.
Canadian Prepper put out a pretty good video today, kind of explaining what's going to really happen if shit goes totally sideways, right?
We're going to tear it down. We, the people, are going to tear this shit down.
But we're not we the people yet, right? It's me, the Irish American, and you, the Greek American, right? So if it comes down to it, it's going to be Greek on Irish, right? Or whatever, right? So we're not, like you say, we're not we the people yet. And it's hard to be we the people when they constantly when everything these days tells you divide and conquer. Everything divides you in one form or another, right? You're a male, so that puts you in one separate camp. You're quasi-white from the Mediterranean blood, right? So that puts you in the white man's camp. Then you're Greek and you're Mediterranean, so you're not fully in the fucking white man's camp, right? So the KKK still hates your guts, right?
Sure.
But
you can't win, huh?
And you're over what? You're over 30, so that puts you in another camp. You're successful enough to be in the middle class, so that puts you in another fucking category, right? So now you're divided into at least 5 categories that they can separate you from every other citizen.
And they'll have a couple more.
I'm sure there are. Easily. A dozen more push buttons they can get your attention with that makes you feel you and only the people like you know that particular angle, not understanding that we're all fucking Americans. We're all fucking Americans. So it's okay for the cops to shoot an American in the back. It's okay for the cops to let's just take any other thing out of it and call it American. Would it be okay with you for 5 cops to jump on somebody's back and choke them to death over a cigarette? Over a cigarette. Is that okay with America? Because he was breaking the law. And he wasn't even doing that at the time, it turned out. But
Right.
at times, he's broken the law selling loose cigarettes, so that prior action to this confrontation was enough for him to die. That American, it's okay with that. You're okay with that.
And then they overlook it. They forget about it. Like they didn't have.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a regular thing.
Well, it is a regular thing now, isn't it?
Right. But I'm just saying that it's a normal thing.
How much do you think that Walter William Scott, whatever that dude's name in South Carolina is, how much do you bet his family, his children, and the rest, and himself, wherever he is, if he is, right, isn't wishing he changed his fucking taillight? He fixed that fucker.
Yep.
And people say, no, he shouldn't have ran. No, the cop really didn't have to pull him over if 1 out of 3 taillights were broken. The cop really has no legal reason to pull you over, because in every state in the fucking union, you only need 2 in a car. 1 on a motorcycle, 2 in a car. That extra light was put there by the fucking car companies. And that, just stop, remove whatever color, creed, religion people have in their confrontation with the police and put just American there, and you'll get angrier. You'll start seeing what I see. Because that's where they divide us. They divide us on everything. Male American, female American, transgender American, LGBT American, bestiality into American. I don't know. S&M American. I don't fucking know.
Oh, Lordy.
And what's the solution? The solution for the people in Baltimore, and most of them, is, break your chains, people, and kill your oppressors.
How much time am I going to this bitch for? Y'all want to go to the private chat? We still got 18 people watching. Let's see if anybody made any comments or we got any questions.
Hell, I hope at least half of them work for the federal government, I hope.
Tony left me.
Speaking of that, where's my favorite NSA guy? I think they had to get Rebellious Stripes out of here.
He was in here tonight?
No, I think they
extracted him.
Yeah, I think they had to get rid of him. He was starting to listen. He was starting to wear the tinfoil hat.
Oh, Lord. For the 3rd. Well, thank you everybody for coming out. We still got 18 people. Sorry we haven't done any shout-outs. We've been busy running our mouths, but that's what we came here to do. Let me see who's talking, who's chatting. Tactical Town made the last comment 26 minutes ago.
Well, I just have a question for anybody who ever listens to this, or the 18 people that are still out there. Do you understand that, like I said earlier, that the Boston Tea Party was terrorism and destruction of private property, and that they were thugs and thieves who did that? We now, because America became a nation and that's our founding story, call them patriots and rebels, right, of the man at that time, whose name was George, right? But do you realize that at that time, those men were thieves, rabble-rousers, terrorists, right? Scum of the earth. And if they would have been caught, they would have been hung, right? And like I said, don't think all that tea went in the fucking harbor. Tea was worth money then. And they were getting it tax-free? Yeah. And I'm not talking about any TV show or anything like that. Just common sense tells you that shit. People, they don't even understand their own fucking history. even though they want to wave a flag on July 4th and dress up in a silly hat.
Huh. I sure as fuck didn't. What's our brother Stu?
Well, at least I was able to keep up with giving solutions. It
What's
wasn't
up,
practical
brother?
matters, but, you know.
Right?
Stu says you're on point. Yeah.
Well, if Stu agrees with me, now I'm scared. I'm only busted on you, Stu.
He said speedy trial that is at the hands of the Republic Police State.
Man. And, you know, people are going to ask for it, man. I'm telling you, they're going to if the summer goes the way I think it's going to go, people are going to be begging for it. Begging for it. Begging for more cops, begging for cops on every corner, begging for it. National Police Force. We need it. All cops under one roof, following one set of rules. Any local oversight? Fuck no.
Stu says that's what happens when a president talks about family values. It has been destroyed from within. Very sad. It will get uglier. We tried through my connections to halt the violence. Look at Detroit and the big experiment bomb mentality.
They never did it right in New York, in Detroit either. But Detroit was
Mandatory vaccine bills were passed in California. Senate working up the chain for the second time. Damn.
well. I guess I've given up on California. I know a lot of people haven't. I have. California, I've given up on. I've given up on my home state of New York. Maryland, even though you're there, gee, I still gave up on a long time ago.
Me too.
You know.
I told you.
And I think Tony had a good point when he mentioned a few times, and he continues to bring up, that most of Jade Helm is taking place in the last real quasi-free places in the United States.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, the ones that if they ever did try and, I mean, because like I said, there's already tyranny in fucking, you're already seeing places where there's tyranny. New York, there's tyranny. Fucking California, you know, Massachusetts. I mean, and it's all soft tyranny right now, right? The Iron Fist has a kid glove on for now. And part of the reason why they're keeping the kid glove on is the South and the West. You know? Because those are there's still some free Americans out there, Americans that think, and they generally gravitate out there, right? They need that space.
Oh man. I'm gonna screen share this before we go off there, everybody. Unless me or HD want to continue, but I'm gonna shut it down.
I got to split in like 18 minutes, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut it down here.
I'm gonna
I want
go.
to say hey to HD before we got all the way off the hangouts.
Been here the whole time.
I know, but
HD has been holding it down. I'm gonna screen share this just for a minute.
I know he got on after I bounced off and had to deal with some shit. So I was thinking you were dodging, not wanting to be associated with the rabble rouse.
Who, G?
No, yeah.
Me.
All right, here we go. Here we go. It's only a minute long. Might as well show it. See what the hell happened just for a few minutes. Then we'll do a couple shout outs. And then we'll blaze on that. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, I heard they were. I heard New York was doing a sympathetic protest. So let's see. We're pushing 3 hours. So I think I did two. I think I helped with 2 of those. People hate that. Hate being inconvenienced. Oh, you're blocking a street. I need to walk, drive, whatever down. Look at those fucking cops just marching in. Yeah, man. Looks kind of like Poland. Twice. Just change the color of the uniforms. Well, that's the basic color of the uniforms when Germany went in, but the Russians had pretty nasty green.
All right, brother Neil, you're gonna start us off with the shoutouts.
Oh, let's see. I got a chance to talk to Rebel and Stinger, and they're both doing well. Reb's not around because he's got a lot of irons in the fire, and Sting's not around for the same reason. But they both said hey. I want to shout out all the guys that are still doing stuff on their own channels. I want to shout out 5% Fridays. Mud says he's going to be starting up around mid-May again. Mud's a good dude. Go check him out and have some laughs. He's going to try and bring it back to being the laugh fest.
Brother Doe.
So that's the shout out I got to do, man. Other than, you know what?
Right.
Buy ammo, train, however you do. If you ain't in a group, too late. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's getting at that time.
You're on, HD. You got the floor.
Oh, I'm on. I guess I don't know. I haven't. Shout out to the Political Port as usual. She's pretty active on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, she's putting stuff out. So I don't know. YouTube might not come back. I don't know where her deal is, but she's putting some information out, so that's good. Keeping us informed as well as everybody else.
Yep.
Shout out to Wild On Horseman out there, helping us keep it real, checking on info. And shout out to everybody that might be in any of these zones of the police state. Stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, and like Mule says, get in a group, start one, do something. You're going to have somebody to watch your back. I'm good.
Shout out to the Green Dragon. Everybody who came out. All the loyal peeps. Shout out to Brother Kansas. How you doing, good, buddy? Good to see his thing around today. He came on for a little bit. It's good to see him. Brother Red. 10 round Angel. Shout out to everybody. HDP putting in some overtime this week. Rebellious Stripes. And we will see you guys soon. I'm sure.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. And, who just came on here? Tom. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys. Take care.
Later.
Later.